Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Yes.
Judge reached base 2 more times last night. His incredible season marches along as he puts the finishing touches on this West Coast swing. It's a road trip that began with a gem from Will Warren, and he can send the Bombers home on a high note with another one in the Emerald City. Let's set the stage as the New York Yankees face the Seattle Mariners on a Wednesday at T-Mobile Park in the state of Washington. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Yankees batting practice today, presented by Audi. I'm Nancy Newman. It is the finale of a 3-game set in Seattle, and we've got a rubber game on tap. The Yankees took the opener in dominant fashion. Then last night, a late run helped them force extra innings, but it would be the Mariners who would come out on top. Let's recap and pave the way for today. Neither side scored in the 10th. The Yankees would strand 2 runners in the top of the 11th. In the bottom of the inning, J.P. Crawford delivered a single that landed just inside the left field foul line to walk it off. It was Seattle's second walk-off victory of the season, and it snapped a 4-game losing streak. So the series is up for grabs today. It was a rare quiet night for the Yankees offense. They went 0 for 14 with runners in scoring position, which was their lowest output since July of 1990. The Yankees lost a Max Fried start for the first time this season. Mariners starter Brian Wu fired 6 1/3 scoreless innings. After the game, Cody Bellinger talked about what made the Seattle righty so tough.
Yeah, he's got a really good heater, and we knew that going in, and I think he just executed his pitches really well, and there were a few opportunities there for us to score, and when I was up, and I couldn't come through, so. Hopefully we'll wake up tomorrow and get him tomorrow.
They put together some really good at-bats, and, drew my pitch count up, especially after a really quick first. I think it was, something like 85 pitches in the next 4. So, definitely had to make pitches and dig deep, and got bailed out by, some really great defense.
You look at that 4th inning in particular, Solano with that 12-pitch at-bat, just to your point of them driving your pitch count up. What was it about their approach that kind of made you work so much?
They were in at every pitch, just being able to, foul off a lot. They were on time, and they were definitely ready for what I was throwing, and sometimes that's the way the game shakes out. So you just got to figure out how to make pitches and do whatever that may be, whether it's different locations or trying to get a little bit more swing and miss. But definitely was fighting some command at times too. So just really give a lot of credit to Austin, helping me get through, and some good conversations and giving me a blow at times too. So.
Both of these teams received dominant pitching performances yesterday. The Yankees allowed just 1 extra base hit, walked a pair, struck out 13. Meanwhile, the Mariners gave up 2 doubles, issued 3 free passes, and fanned 13. With all that in mind, we will again focus on the pitching for the finale. It will be Luis Castillo getting the start for the Mariners. He's 3-3 with an earned run average just under 4. For the Yankees, Will Warren gets the ball. He is 2-2 with a 4.75 ERA. He began this road trip with a gem, and he'll look to finish it up with one as well. On Friday, against the Athletics in Sacramento, Warren turned in perhaps the best outing of his young big league career. He pitched a career-high 7 1/3 innings, giving up just 1 run on 4 hits. He walked 1, struck out 7 to earn his first victory since April 12th, and he also shaved nearly a full run off his earned run average for the season. One major key was his exceptional efficiency. He averaged just under 12 pitches per inning versus the A's after he was at 20 over his first 7 games. He continues to lean heavily on his four-seamer, and with good reason. He throws it more than 37% of the time, and opponents are batting just 149 against it. That's the 5th lowest batting average in the majors against a four-seam fastball, and he's also tied for 6th lowest slugging percentage. Meanwhile, Luis Castillo is coming off a loss against the Toronto Blue Jays, where he surrendered 5 runs over 5 innings and struck out just 3. It was his second outing of the season where he gave up at least 5 runs, but he's been solid the rest of the time, allowing no more than 3 runs in his other 6 starts. As is always a case with the right-hander, keep an eye on his fastball. Opponents are batting just above 200 against his 4-seamer. This will be his 7th career start against the Yankees, and so far he's 1-3 with a 2.95 ERA. The Bombers have beaten him the last 2 times they have faced him, hitting a pair of homers in each. But Castillo has also received 0 runs of support in his last 3 starts against New York. Turning our attention to the hitters now, on the Yankees side, there is one name in this starting lineup for the very first time this season. DJ LeMahieu entered last night's game as a defensive replacement. Today, he's making his first start since September 3rd of last year. LeMahieu missed the end of the 2024 season with a hip issue, and his season debut this year was delayed by a left calf strain. He also received a preemptive cortisone shot in his hip while he was on his rehab assignment. He's back now, and he did get one at bat last night. LeMahieu will be looking for a bounce-back campaign. And with Oswaldo Cabrera and Jazz Chisholm Jr. on the injured list, the Yankees could use some help in the infield. To prepare for his return, LeMahieu played 9 games on a rehab assignment. He batted .444 with 1 home run and an OPS over 1,000. He will bat 7th and play second base in today's game against the Mariners. We are just getting started here on Yankees batting practice today, presented by Audi. Coming up, we'll hear from Aaron Boone as his Bombers prepare to wrap up this West Coast road trip. Stay with us on Yes and the Gotham Sports app.
Yankees batting practice today is presented by Audi, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Yankees. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer today.
We're back. The Yankees starting rotation has been exceptional of late. They've allowed 3 runs or fewer in 7 of the last 8 games, and that is good for an ERA just over 2.5 over that span. Will Warren will try to keep that going today. Speaking of pitching, today's injury report is brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Jonathan Loaisiga pitched another scoreless rehab outing yesterday at AAA and topped out at just under 96 miles per hour. He's allowed just 1 run in 6 rehab games. DJ LeMahieu is set to make his first start of the season today. And as we mentioned earlier, injuries among the Yankees infield have created some opportunities for playing time. In our Toyota quote of the day, Skipper Boone was asked where on the diamond LeMahieu fits best.
I mean, with DJ, I feel good about him anywhere. He's got a Gold Glove. Well, I think he was the first Gold Glove winner as a utility guy. So whether it's third, whether it's second, whether it's first, similar to like Peraza, and they're different in how they do it. A lot of confidence with him with a glove on. But second's obviously his, where he came up, where he's the most comfortable, probably where it's the most natural. But that being said, he's excellent wherever you put him.
You're flipping him today, though, because DJ in his rehab played so much second base?
A little bit, yeah. Just feel like I want to give him, the best spot to try and get that traction going and be successful.
Is it a simple decision for you to skip Yarbrough and have Schmidt, Max going normal rest this weekend?
A little bit. I think that's the kind of versatility that Yarbs gives you. He's been so good for us, obviously. But, you can cycle him through with 2 off days coming. We'll probably insert him back in that next round. But then kind of gives you some coverage in the next couple series from whether it's a short, smaller lane in the course of game, or it gives you that kind of length protection too.
Aaron, you've got the Subway Series coming up this weekend. Not often that both teams are in first place when they play. Just what do you think it's going to be like this weekend? Yeah,
I'm sure it'll be. I think it'll be really exciting. For the fan bases, for New York, especially all that's going on in New York right now with the Knicks. hopefully on the verge of a series win, and us playing the Mets and all that goes with that. Hopefully the weather's good and it provides for an exciting weekend for our city.
How warm of a welcome do you think Juan Soto will get?
It'll be interesting. It's the Bronx.
Aaron, how was he to manage for the 1 year that you had him?
Juan?
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, he was great. Obviously, what he did for us on the field between the lines, but I thought he was great in the room. Very easy to coach, wants to be coached. You could get on him about certain things that popped up in the game, and he took it and would try to make adjustments, and he was great.
Stanton going to Tampa? Did that get decided?
What's that?
Did Stanton end up going to Tampa? You said
I don't know. I don't think he's left for Tampa yet. I know yesterday he did some more base running, and I know he's on the field doing velo and stuff, so I don't know what the next plan is.
You're going to have the next step for Stroman.
Stroh threw a bullpen 2 days ago. He threw a bullpen, got through that pretty okay. Just want to be, a little more methodical with the catch play and the progressions, and making sure as best we can to get that discomfort out of there.
You know if Cabrera's seen the doctor yet?
I know he did see a doctor today. He was going for an MRI. I know he's going to see a couple other doctors just to get a couple of opinions around it. So I know that process has started.
Here is the Mariners lineup for the final game of the series. J.P. Crawford was set to lead off, but he was a late scratch. So Miles Mastrobuoni takes his spot atop the lineup. Batting third is Julio Rodriguez, who had a hit and scored a run last night. He has 4 homers and an OPS north of 800 across his last 15 games. For the New York Yankees, it's Trent Grisham, Ben Rice, Aaron Judge, the top third. The captain carries a .410 batting average into this one, and he has very good numbers in Seattle, 10 homers in 24 games at T-Mobile Park. Paul Goldschmidt and Austin Wells get the day off, so it will be Rice at first. J.C. Escara catches Will Warren. Time for another break here on Yankees Batting Practice today, presented by Audi. When we return, we'll take a look at some scores and storylines from around the majors. Don't go anywhere. Take a deep dive into the Yankees minor leagues with Conversations, a homegrown podcast with Connor Foley. The latest episode features AAA Scranton Wilkes-Barre manager Shelley Duncan. It's available now on the Gotham Sports app. Here are some news and notes from around the majors. Matt Carpenter has called it a career after 14 seasons in the bigs. He had an incredible stretch with the Yankees back in 2022. Paul Skeens will pitch for Team USA in the upcoming World Baseball Classic. Finally, the Dodgers placed rookie pitcher Roki Sasaki on the 15-day injured list with a right shoulder impingement. It is so great to have you with us on Yankees Batting Practice today, presented by Audi. There were some wild games in baseball yesterday. 5 teams scored walk-off victories. 2 other games were postponed by rain, setting up 2 doubleheaders today. Let's check in on the early games. We begin in Baltimore. The O's hosting the Twins, game 1 of 2, bottom 3. O's up. Gunnar Henderson crushing this 2-2 curveball. Is a 2-run blast. Make it 3-0. Baltimore top 4, 3-1 score. Here come the Twins with 2 on, 2 out. Christian Vasquez drives the 0-1 curveball off Dean Kramer over the fence in left center. Go-ahead 3-run home run in his first 4-3 game. Bottom 7, same score. O's threatening Ryan O'Hearn. He will line it to center. Watch Byron Buxton come in. The diving catch. He makes it. End of the inning. Next inning, Orioles threatening again. Griffin Jacks getting Ramon Urias to strike out swinging. as the Orioles shred 2. This marks 9 wins in a row for the Twins, who improved to 2 games over 500. 4 of those victories have come against the Orioles. Baltimore, meanwhile, drops to 10 games under 500 and has lost 7 of its last 9 games. The Orioles have scored 4 runs or fewer in 18 of the last 20. And how about the Cardinals and the Phillies? Game 1 of 2 here as well. Top 7, no score. Phillies starter Jesus Luzardo still in. Jordan Walker ripping the liner to left. Herrera comes around to score first run of the game. Cards lead it 1-0. Bottom 7 now 1-1. Runners on the corners for Bryce Harper. He bloops the Matt's curveball into center. It drops in for the hit. The runner from third scores. Stott hustling from first gets tagged out at home. And the Phillies would challenge it, but it did stand. So the Cardinals carry that 9-game winning streak into this game. It is their longest since September of 2021. They're in the top of the 8th, but they've still got some work to do. The Phillies try to hold that late lead. As for some other notable games, the Brewers are trying to avoid a sweep at the hands of the Guardians. The Tigers were one of the teams to win with a walk-off yesterday when Javi Baez's 3-run homer beat the Red Sox. The Rays and Blue Jays meet again after Tampa Bay got a grand slam in the top of the 9th inning to win yesterday's game. And the Braves started 0-7, but they've made it back to 500. Our Jack Curry has a treasure trove of stories that he has collected over his many years covering baseball. So every now and then, we leave it up to the cards to decide which one he tells us about next. Here is the latest edition of Jack's Packs.
Hello again, everyone. Jack Curry here. Welcome to another edition of Jack's Packs. I've got baseball cards in front of me. That means I'm happy and I'm excited. And I'm going to open up a pack of these cards. And within that pack, I'm going to find a player and tell you a story from that player's career. So we're going to get started. We're getting off to a good start in this pack. We've got Dwight Gooden in a Mets uniform, Dr. K. Eric King of the White Sox. We've got Alan Mills. He pitched for the Yankees. Omar Vizquel, slick fielding shortstop in a Mariners uniform. We've got Derek May. We've got Tim Leary, who also pitched for the Yankees. We've got Tim Cruz. This is Tim in a Dodgers uniform. He later died tragically in a boating accident in spring training. Steve Avery. There's John Kruk with the Philadelphia Phillies. We've got Bob Welch, Jose Uribe, Robin Yount, a Hall of Famer. We've got Tino Martinez in a Seattle Mariners uniform, Norm Charlton, and Doug Jones. I'm going back to Tino Martinez, and though he's wearing a Seattle Mariners uniform here, I'm going to talk about him when he came to the Yankees. Traded to the Yankees before the '96 season. He was just part of the Mariners team that knocked the Yankees out of the playoffs in '95. What a deal that Gene Michael was able to make in acquiring both Martinez and Nelson from the Seattle Mariners. And the story about Tino actually comes from something his brother told me. Tino was so fanatical about hitting as a teenager that the Martinez family home in Tampa had a chain link fence around it. Tino would take the batting tee and a bucket of baseballs, and he would hit baseballs into that fence every day. His brother, Rennie, told me that Tino did that so much and so often that one day Tino hit a baseball through the chain link fence. His full first name was Constantino, so his nickname to some was the Bam Tino. And if you hit a baseball through a fence, I think you are the Bam Tino.
Nice work, the Bam-Tino. What a career in pinstripes it was for Tino Martinez. He won 4 World Series rings during the 90s dynasty. In 1997, he was an All-Star, a Silver Slugger, and the MVP runner-up after batting .296 with 44 home runs and 141 RBIs. He hit 192 homers as a Yankee, including some very important postseason blasts. Let's take one last break here on Yankees Batting Practice Today, presented by Audi. We'll be back to wrap things up as we get ready for the series finale in Seattle. Stay with us on Yes and the Got Them Sports app.
The
the 2-1. A high pop-up. He's going to do it. At shortstop, Jeter. Jeter on the outfield grass makes the catch. The Yankees win. The Yankees win. A no-hitter for Dwight Gooden. And the Yankees are mobbing Gooden on the mound.
That was 29 years ago. Doc Gooden threw the 8th no-hitter in Yankees franchise history, and it came against an incredibly talented Seattle Mariners lineup. A-Rod, Griffey Jr., Edgar Martinez, Jay Buhner, they were all in there. He finished with 5 strikeouts. What a feat for Doc. Okay, back to the current day and the series finale in Seattle with some keys to the game. They are brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Cody Bellinger comes into this one on a 9-game hitting streak, while the Yankee starters are holding opponents to a .220 batting average over their last 8 games. Among AL hitters, Cal Raleigh is second to Aaron Judge in home runs, while Luis Castillo has allowed 3 runs or fewer in all 6 of his starts against the Yankees. This is the final game of the Yankees' first West Coast trip of the month. They have tomorrow off to get ready for part 1 of the Subway Series. The Mets come to the Bronx for 3 games, and we've got special expanded pregame coverage on Friday beginning at 5:30 p.m. here on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. That does it for this edition of Yankees Batting Practice Today, presented by Audi. Our next BPTV comes your way Friday at 5:30 p.m. Right now, our game day coverage rolls on. It is the finale of a 3-game set in Seattle and the last game of a 6-game West Coast trip. It's Will Warren on the mound for the Yankees. They come in having won 6 of 8. We've set the scene. Best pregame in the business. Next on Yes.
It started with some see-yas in Seattle. 4 homers for the Bombers in the opener, but then things got a little sleepier in Seattle. 11 left on base last night and an over with runners in scoring position as they managed just 1 run. And that sets up a rubber game as the Yankees battle the Mariners on a Wednesday at T-Mobile Park in Washington. Alongside Jack Curry, I am Chris Sheeran, and this is the FanDuel Yankees pregame show. So, Jack, we've seen a slugfest. We've seen a pitcher's duel. What will the rubber match bring? And that leads us to your Hyundai opening comment.
I'm tilting back toward pitching, and my focus is going to Will Warren because he's young, he's talented, he's trying to solidify his position in the Yankee rotation, and he needs to do exactly what he did in his last start against the A's. He pitched deep in that game. He was efficient, Chris. And you look at these precious career opportunities that are in front of someone like Warren. He wants to be able to get another solid outing under his belt, and he's going up against a tough pitcher in Castillo. The Yankee hitters are going up against him, I should say, and they want to reappear today after a rough outing last night.
All right, Jack, it's time now to head out to Seattle for Meredith Marakovitz in the Ford Clubhouse Report. Will Warren, Meredith, is getting the start today, as Jack just mentioned. He will look to build off his impressive outing in Sacramento.
Chris, that really was the best start of his career so far. 7 1/3, allowed just 1 run, struck out 7 along the way. And the thing I liked about it is he was aggressive really early in the count, pounding the strike zone, establishing his fastball, and then he was able to locate his secondary stuff as well. And when he's able to do that, it's clear he can have success on the mound. And Jack, you also noted the fact that he was economical. You look at his first 7 starts, he was averaging 20 pitches per inning. In that last start against the A's, 11.9 pitches per inning, so much more economical, allowing him to go deeper into that game. Now, we know Will Warren is still young. There is a learning curve, but there have been a lot of positives that we have seen this season. And earlier, Aaron Boone spoke a little bit about the growth he's seen from him throughout this season so far on the mounds.
I just think better levels of execution. I think last outing really started with the fastball. You know, the sinker and the 4-seamer really set him up for success, getting himself in good counts, but just doing a good job of not letting the last result affect the next thing. You're really just staying present, continuing to execute pitches, and and therefore allowing you to kind of slow the game down when different things pop up in the course of a game. But, you see a game like last game and just how capable he is and the weapons he has to get good hitters out.
And Yankees starting pitching was not the issue last night. Max Fried kept him in the game, 5 innings of 1-run ball, and it has not been the issue lately. They have been quite good. Look at the last 8 games, pitching to a 2.57 ERA, going 6 or more innings, and opposing batters hitting .220 against them. Just 8 walks to 47 strikeouts, so it'll be up to Will Warren to continue that this afternoon. Now, there are a couple changes when it comes to the Yankees lineup. Paul Goldschmidt is not in there at first base. Aaron Boone said planned off day for him. It has nothing to do with him getting hit in the hand late in last night's game. He said he is available off the bench should they need him to pinch hit. So with no Goldschmidt in there at first base, it's going to be Ben Rice. Aaron Judge is DHing. Also noteworthy, Vivas is at third base, and you're going to see DJ LeMahieu getting his first start of the 2025 season. He'll play second base and bat 7th. I had the opportunity to catch up with DJ yesterday and just asked him how things have been going for him. It has been a grind, a lot of nagging injuries over the last couple of years. You look at this year, missed first 41 games with a left calf strain. He did play in 9 rehab games in the minors. He hit quite well there. Aaron Boone said he is anxious to see if it translates to the major league level. And when I spoke to him, I just asked him about being back with his teammates here in Seattle.
Excited to be around the guys, excited to be here, and hopefully help this team keep rolling.
You mentioned this team. What have you thought of this team watching from afar?
It's impressive offensively. Just everyone's doing their job, and it's been pretty explosive offense. And obviously pitching has done a great job as well. So like I said, just hopefully I can be a part of it and help this team out and just keep it rolling.
You played in 9 rehab games. What told you that you were ready to go?
I felt good. I felt comfortable the whole time. From my first at-bat in rehab, felt good. Just kind of treated it like spring training. First couple weeks, 3, 4, 5 innings, and then this last week kind of just, turned it on and treated it like a real game and a full, complete game. And I felt good. I felt good and, put myself, I feel like, in a good position physically and everything, and just ready to go.
Aaron Boone had mentioned that you got a preemptive cortisone shot in your hip. You lost some time last year with the hip impingement. What made you decide to do that? What were you feeling?
It was just something that was a little nagging as I was kind of getting going again. And, the last thing I wanted to happen was, get activated and something happens. And it was just more of a, hey, I feel it kind of coming in just as like playing games, and let's just get rid of this thing and get going. So
how frustrating has this whole process been for you over the last couple of years with these nagging injuries?
Yeah, it's frustrating, but at the same time, I keep going. And, it hasn't always been fun. Hasn't always been the most enjoyable, kind of baseball that I'm used to. But at the same time, it's tested me and, physically, mentally, everything. And just trying to put myself in the best position to help this team. What do you think you're capable of? We'll see. We'll see. I feel good, though. I feel really good. And, I can't obviously, will it to happen. It takes a lot of hard work, and but physically, mentally, I feel like I'm ready and in a really good spot to get going. What's your expectation as far as playing time is concerned? Just, I told Booney, like, I'm ready to help this team. I'm ready to help this team. Whatever role that is, I'm good with. Like, ego's been checked a little while ago. So, just kind of, however I can help the team, and whatever role. If it's every day, if it's not, I'm good to go. So, how different is your preparation now and getting ready for a game to try to make sure nothing else pops up along the way? Just staying on it. Been through it plenty, so just trying to stay on it. Just trying to stay on it as much as I can. And I'm usually, I just love going out there and playing. I don't always love being in the training room and taking care of all that stuff that is really not that fun. But it's something I've had to do, and like I said, I just try to put myself in the best position. And if it's spending more time in the training room and doing some stuff I don't really want to do, like, if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. You're expected to be in the starting lineup tomorrow. You've been in this league a very long time, but will there still be any type of butterflies getting back out there for the first time in a while? Yeah, no doubt. I felt butterflies even through rehab, so be no different. But more than anything, I'm just excited.
And with Jazz Chisholm Jr. out with an injury and Oswaldo Cabrera out with an injury, DJ LeMahieu is going to get a run. The Yankees are going to see what they can get from him, but they're curious. They do not know. They have not seen a healthy DJ LeMahieu in quite some time, and you can hear him during that interview expressing that frustration of what has happened over the last couple of years. Early in his Yankees tenure, he was just so incredibly productive, a guy that got on base all the time, played solid defense at multiple positions. So something to keep your eye on as we move forward here. And guys, before I send it back to you, a note on Oswaldo Cabrera. He is seeing the team doctor today. He's also going to get some different opinions from some other doctors. So no date set for his surgery. And you're going to see a lot of kids in the crowd here at T-Mobile Park. Oftentimes you do during day games, but they had about an hour ceremony or presentation, I should say, prior to any of the members of the teams coming out here with the kids, teaching them about different careers in sports that were available. If you're not an athlete, if you're not a player, there are a lot of different avenues you can go down, and I think we can all agree, reporter, host, analyst, all good options, guys. All good options for the kids.
Absolutely, Meredith. 100%. Thank you so much for the time. We appreciate it. We'll see you throughout the game and on the post-game show as well. All season long here on Yes, we want to invite you viewers to show us the different ways you support the Bronx Bombers. Use the QR code on screen with the hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride and post pictures to social media that reflect your love for the Yankees. We might spotlight you in a future game. Pinstripe Pride is brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. Oswald Peraza continues to be good with the glove. We're early in the career for rookie Jorby Vivas, and now a veteran returns to the infield mix. We'll look at how the DJ LeMahieu fits in next on the FanDuel Yankees pregame on Yes and the Gotham Sports app.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is presented by FanDuel. New customers get $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Hyundai dealers. There's never been a better time to test drive that Hyundai you've always wanted. Visit HyundaiUSA.com today.
It's time for the pregame odds segment presented by FanDuel. And we've got a rubber game in Seattle between the Yanks and the Mariners. For a same-game parlay, we're picking Aaron Judge to drive in at least 2 runs, Ben Rice to knock a hit, and Will Warren to go over 5.5 strikeouts. That parlay comes in at plus 932. Right now, new customers get $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins.
Saw Meredith Marakovitz talking to DJ LeMahieu. You take a look at his time with the Yankees since 2019. You see the numbers progressively go down. But to be fair, he's been dealing with a lot of injuries along the way here, Jack. And, you know, you look at DJ LeMahieu, what he said to Meredith. She said, what can we expect out of you this season? He said, we'll see. What do you think?
We're all going to find out. I think he's being honest about who is DJ LeMahieu right now. We're all going to find out together. Chrissy turns 37 in July. We should mention some of the accolades. 2 batting titles, 2 top 5 MVP finishes with the Yankees, 4 Gold Gloves. But then we have to talk about who he has been recently. Across his last 800 plate appearances or so, about a .230 hitter, an OPS in the 600s. You mentioned the injuries, and those have obviously been a factor. But, Chris, last spring, I spoke to Aaron Boone, and he talked about the explosiveness in DJ LeMahieu's body and how excited the Yankees were about for him in 24. And that story never played out the way the Yankees hoped it would, or the way LeMahieu hoped it would. So we're going to watch on a daily basis and see who LeMahieu is in 2025.
All right, Jack, let's take a look now at the starting lineup, courtesy of Toyota. And we see LeMahieu in there in the 7-hole. And Aaron Judge, by the way, he's the DH. It'll be the 9th time he DHs this year. He's slugging .912 when he's in that role, almost 200 points higher than when he plays the field. But let's go back to the second and third base situation for the Yankees. Oswaldo Cabrera goes down in the first game of this series, and Jack Bibas is in there at third base today. Chisholm is still working his way back. How do you see this all shaking out?
LeMahieu's going to play a lot. The Yankees have to figure out what they have in DJ LeMahieu. And listening to Boone today, he's obviously comfortable putting LeMahieu at different positions, second, third, first. But it sounds as if they want to keep him at second for now. That's actually the position he's most comfortable with. Bibas is getting the run at third today, lefty hitter against Castillo. But, Chris, I envision Peraza getting a lot of playing time. You and I were both impressed last night with his defensive savviness at third base, some of the nice plays that he made. The offense needs to catch up, but if I'm ranking where those assignments are going to go, I'd say LeMahieu, Peraza, then Bibas, with Reyes being the fourth option to fill one of those spots.
All right, Jack, let's take a look at the Mariners lineup brought to you by Toyota. J.P. Crawford was supposed to lead off, but he was a late scratch, so it's Miles Mastrobuoni in the top spot. Julio Rodriguez has been good over his last 15 games. Cal Raleigh has 13 home runs. Only Aaron Judge, Corbin Carroll, and Kyle Schwarber have more in the majors with 14 apiece. It will be up to Will Warren to navigate that Mariners lineup, and he's coming off the best start of his young career. Up next on the FanDuel Yankees pregame, we'll tell you what to expect from the righty today. Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Learn more at genesis.com. The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com.
Hey there, Yankees fans. I'm News 12 meteorologist Matt Hammer with your game day forecast in Seattle this afternoon. First pitch, of course, at 4:10, looking at a mostly cloudy sky in Seattle. Temperature of around 56 degrees with only a light wind out of the south at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Still expect more clouds than sun through the entire game, but overall dry weather and cool feeling temperatures with highs in the middle and upper 50s. Enjoy the game.
We keep talking about Will Warren's last start, his best of his young career. Here it is, Jack, May 9th in Sacramento.
Bottle it and do it again. That's how good he was in this game. You're going to see the sinker. You're going to see the changeup. The four-seam fastball has been terrific for him all year. Batters hitting only 149 against it. Most importantly, and Meredith mentioned this earlier, Chris, he was efficient. He averaged about 12 pitches per inning. He was in attack mode. He was aggressive. It reminded me of a start earlier in the year that he had against Cleveland. The difference in this one, he pitched into the 8th inning. He gave the Yankees some length. It's about a young pitcher continuing to evolve. This is only his 15th game in the majors, trying to prove that he belongs.
And how about his four-seamer, Jack? A 149 batting average against. That's 5th in Major League Baseball.
Chris, even last year when he had an ERA of around 10, his four-seam fastball was true. He had done a really good job developing that pitch. He needs pitches to get lefties out, and that's where the sinker and the changeup come into play. But he had everything working against the A's, and the Yankees would love to see some version of that outing today against Seattle.
Yeah, the headline, not the byline, is that four-seam fastball for Will Warren. Let's take a look now at the Yankees bullpen budget. Let's focus in on Luke Weaver here. He had all those days off, but he did throw 21 pitches last night. What do you think about Weaver pitching tonight?
So it's not only the 21 pitches, Chris, it's the 2-ups. It's the fact that he covered 2 innings. And when managers and pitching coaches are looking at their pitchers and the fact they had to get up and go back out there, that factors in. But I think if Aaron Boone has a chance to win a series and win a game today, when Luke Weaver had not pitched for several days before yesterday, I have to believe he's in play for an inning. I'd say the same thing with Cruz. Cruz was dominant last night. 3 strikeouts, 2 on the splitter, 1 on a fastball when the batter was looking for a splitter. So with an off day looming tomorrow, I have to believe that Boone will be fairly aggressive with that pen.
All right, we take a look now at Luis Castillo's pitching tool belt, courtesy of StatCast 3D, powered by Google Cloud. Just like Brian Wu last night, Castillo, Jack, will rely heavily on his fastball, both the four-seamer and the two-seamer, mixing in a slider and a change as well. Despite a couple of games allowing 5 runs this season, he's been steady and good over 6 starts against the Yankees in his career.
Yeah, true 4-pitch pitcher, someone who came over to Seattle with a lot of fanfare. It's interesting that in his last 3 starts against the Yankees, he has received the total amount of 0 runs of support. But I look at Castillo as a challenge for any offense. You see the numbers on the season. You see the batting average against. Those are the numbers against the Yankees. You see the batting average against. Batting average against during the season is .249. I always look at that fastball changeup combination with Castillo as something that batters have to figure out, Chris.
And the Yankees have hit 5 home runs in those 6 starts off of Castillo. One last break on the FanDuel Yankees pregame still to come. We'll get Jack's key to the game as the Bombers look to wrap up this road trip with a win. That's next on Yes and the Gotham Sports app.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by EEP Law. Counsel that cares. Results that matter.
Take a look now at this date in Yankees history. Mickey Mantle back in 1967 hit his 500th career homer, the first switch hitter in MLB history. Derek Jeter had his number 2 retired in 2017 on Mother's Day. And in 1996, Doc Gooden threw a no-hitter, the 8th in franchise history, and it was against the Mariners as we take a look back. How about some memories from this one, Jack?
Yeah, I was sitting in the press box writing this story for the New York Times, and as soon as that ball went up in the air off the bat of Paul Sorrento and Jeter caught it, it was just jubilation. This was only Gooden's 7th start as a Yankee, Chris. He had over 300 starts as a Met, never threw a no-hitter. Can you imagine the emotion of not only throwing a no-hitter, but knowing that his father was having heart surgery the next day? He had to hop on a plane to go visit him. And, of course, he brought him a baseball from the game.
And how about the lineup he faced? Rodriguez, Griffey, Martinez, Buhner, Sorrento. I mean, he shut them down.
That is a quality lineup. You see what that lineup had done in its previous 3 games. You've got Hall of Famers and Hall of Fame types in there. If someone wants to focus on the 6 walks, they're missing the story. They're missing the headline that he shut down that team. Gerald Williams made a great catch in that game for him, too.
All right, Jack, let's get back to today's game in Seattle against the Mariners as well, and it leads to your key to the game.
The key to the game for the Yankees, Chris, is no traffic jams in Seattle. And, of course, I mean no traffic jams on the bases. The Yankees were 0 for 14 with runners in scoring position last night. They left 11 men on base. Castillo is a tough pitcher. If the Yankees get any traction offensively against him, they need to make sure that they produce.
All right, Jack, that's going to do it for us here on the pregame show. Coming up next, we go out to Seattle for the call of the game. Justin Shackle, Jeff Nelson, and Meredith Marakovitz are on the call. Jack and I will see you in the postgame.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Yes.
Last night in the bottom of the 11th, it only took 1 pitch for J.P. Crawford to end things with that base hit down the left field line. Mariners walking off with a 2-1 victory and send Tim Hill and the Yankees into the clubhouse tasting defeat. So the Yankees take the series opener. The Mariners win last night. And that brings us to this afternoon for the series finale, the rubber matchup in Seattle as the Yankees will try and close out their West Coast trip on a high note. The Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the Yankees and the Mariners in the finale from T-Mobile Park in Seattle, Washington. Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Yankees Baseball. Along with Jeff Nelson, I'm Justin Shackle. So the Yankees are going to try and close out their road trip at 4-2 as we take a look at the pitching matchup for the series finale today. It'll be Will Warren and Luis Castillo, the veteran righty the Yankees have known all too often. But for Warren, he's trying to build off a career best performance on Friday.
Well, what impressed me against the Athletics is he came out and he established his fastball. He threw his fastball in the last outing more than any other outing this year, and that's what you need to do, because everything off the secondary pitches, the slider, the changeup, plays off that fastball. He mixed it in and out. I loved how he threw the two-seamer into righties, and that's one of the reasons why he got deep into the game.
Yeah, Warren joined Max Fried as the only Yankees starting pitchers to record an out in the 7th inning here this season, and he was very economical, did it less than 100 pitches on Friday night. Well, he's going to be dealing with a heated-up Julio Rodriguez. We've seen him on base. We've seen him score in each game this series, and it feels like J-Rod is only heating up.
Well, two-time All-Star. He was the Rookie of the Year a few years ago. The Mariner fans are waiting for Julio Rodriguez to become a full-time player as far as production. He's always been a second-half hitter. 300 in the second half, but he's gotten off to a slow start. When he heats up, the Mariner offense heats up, and that's exactly what he's done over the last 15 games. He's starting to put it together, and the Mariners offense is starting to put it together.
Let's examine the last 11 games for the Mariners center fielder. 289 average. He's hit 3 homers. We saw one earlier in this series against the Yankees. Julio Rodriguez will be batting third in the finale for Seattle. DJ LeMahieu is batting 7th. LeMahieu gets his first start of the season. He caught up with Meredith Marakovits, and that's coming up next on Yes.
Welcome back to Seattle, where the Yankees will try to bounce back after a tough extra innings loss last night. Series finale with the Mariners is coming your way right here on Yes in just a few minutes. Hey everyone, I'm Meredith Marakovits. As expected, DJ LeMahieu is back in the Yankees starting lineup for the first time of the 2025 season. He'll play second base and bat 7th. Yesterday, I caught up with DJ to ask him how he has dealt with all the injury issues over the last few years.
It's frustrating, but at the same time, I keep going. And it hasn't always been fun. It hasn't always been the most enjoyable, kind of baseball that I'm used to. But at the same time, it's tested me, and physically, mentally, everything, and just trying to put myself in the best position to help this team. What
do you think you're capable of?
We'll see. We'll see. I feel good though. I feel really good, and I can't obviously, will it to happen. Takes a lot of hard work, and but physically, mentally, I feel like I'm ready in a really good spot to get going.
And I'm sure Aaron Boone and the Yankees organization are just as curious to see what they get from LeMahieu. Couple quick notes when it comes to the lineup. Paul Goldschmidt has the afternoon off. It's going to be Ben Rice in there at first base. J.C. Escarra is behind the plate. Vivas is at third, and Aaron Judge will DH. Plenty more to come here on the S Network. When we get back, Justin Shackle will be joined by Jeff Nelson. First pitch from the Emerald City next.
Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Learn more at Genesis.com. Buy Untuckit. Find the perfect fit today at Untuckit.com or more than 80 stores worldwide. And buy the New York Lottery. Get out there and play. On the Seattle waterfront. And an unseasonably chilly May afternoon. Roof is closed here at T-Mobile Park. It's almost like an airplane hangar. Not exactly fully enclosed. And Luis Castillo gets set to make start number 9. Let's take a look at the Yankee lineup that he'll be facing tonight. A couple of lefties right at the top at Grisham and Rice. Judge DHing, Bellinger hitting cleanup, and it's Volpe, Dominguez, DJ LeMahieu making his first start of the year. J.C. Escarra doing the catching, and Jorby Vivas at third base.
Well, Shaq, you mentioned Luis Castillo making his 9th start. There are the numbers for Castillo this year. A really nice ERA. Well, let's check out the Nissan Pitchers scouting report on Castillo. More fastballs, a lot more 2-seamers and 4-seamers this year than he has in the past. The hard stuff, or the soft stuff, a lot of hard contact. The slider, the changeup's getting hard, and his velo's down. You're usually used to seeing him about 96 to 97. This year, about 93, 94. He'll touch 95 on occasion, but the velocity is not there like it used to be.
Let's check out the Chevy Mariners defense behind Luis Castillo in the outfield. Same as it has been the previous two games. Rosareno, Rodriguez, Tavares left to right. And then in the infield, Tellez at first. Mastroboni gets the start at second. Leo Rivas, a late insertion at shortstop. Ben Williamson doing the work at third base. Time now for the keys to the game, brought to you by your local Kia dealers.
No runners in scoring position. Last night, 0 for 14. The Yankees were 4 for 28 in this series. Aggressive early. Try to get some runs early against Castillo, and you'll see a lot of fastballs early, pretty similar to what you saw with Wu. And don't look ahead. You got a big series, the Subway Series over the weekend. Take care of business now. Try to win this series and have a good road trip.
And they'll try and go into the off day tomorrow off a victory and complete this West Coast trip at 4-2. Time to play here in Seattle as Luis Castillo delivers a first pitch strike. Yankees lost in 11 innings last night, 2-1. Trent Grisham, the only hitter with a multi-hit game among both teams. It's 5 for 11 this series. Grisham's led off in each game this series. Back on Monday, had a pair of home runs, so 5 hits total. Misses low. Let's take a look at the scouting report for home plate umpire Bruce Dreckman. Well, Nelly's getting close there toward the middle.
Flirting with neutral. Still, I don't like it on the right side.
Tapped foul. Strike zone was a heavy topic of conversation with the crew chief Mark Wegner last night. Aaron Boone was ejected after a low strike call to Jason Dominguez late in that game. Misses upstairs. And like Nelly mentioned, that four-seamer, the velocity not as high as it was in the past. Grisham sends it high and deep into left center field. Rodriguez near the wall, and he makes the catch. The crowd had to wait. He threw it back in, celebrated before he did, but he robs Trent Grisham of a home run to start off the game.
Well, Shaq, if you remember on Monday, Grisham hit one out, and it hit off of Rodriguez's glove and went for a homer. This time he makes up for it. Brings one back.
He went full extension across his body. Watch this.
Head over the wall. Outstanding catch.
Here's Ben Rice. I don't know if Grisham knew for certain whether Rodriguez made that catch as he was rounding second. He's kind of staying on the base path.
Well, he gave this fastball a ride. You watch how far Rodriguez had to go for this. He times it perfectly.
Another look at the catch at the wall. Wow.
Now the Mariners have had some really good center fielders here. And Ken Griffey Jr. the best. And then you have Mike Cameron, who also was a great center fielder, and Julio Rodriguez is right with him.
Strikes right out. 2 down. That's going to fuel you up for the rest of the game now.
No, he let one slip away on Monday. Same hitter, Trent Grisham, hit off his glove. Probably should have had that one. He made up for it.
Here's Aaron Judge, 1 for 4 with a walk last night. Average up to .410.
14 homers, 40 driven in for the captain. DHing for the 9th time this season. Last night, the Yankees went 0 for 14 with runners in scoring position. And they went 0 for 10 over the last 3 innings. Their offense has been on a roll, but this series, 4 for 28 with runners in scoring position. Castillo's 1-2. Two line drive, base hit into left field for Judge. Another hit. And a 2-out single for the captain.
It sounded like he broke his bat on that slider down and away. He covers so much of the plate. I mean, that pitch was probably 6-7 inches off the plate on the outer half. Just gets over the shortstop, Rivas.
J.P. Crawford, who had the game-winning hit last night, he was at the top of the lineup, or at least penciled in at the top this morning. And then a little over an hour before the game, the Mariners had to make a switch. Crawford scratched, Mastroboni to the leadoff spot, and Rivas is playing shortstop. No word as to why Crawford was taken out. So here's Bellinger, and he ropes it down the right field line. That's going to be a base hit and go all the way to the wall. Judge racing for third. He's getting the stop sign from Luis Rojas. And it's a double with 2 away for Cody Bellinger. Yankees have runners in scoring position with 2 outs.
Well, we talked about that. All speed from Castillo. It's getting hit hard. That was a slider up in the zone. Bellinger crushed this ball down the right field line. You see Taveras, he plays it well, gets it back in the infield. Tough to have Judge score from first on that one.
It's hit so hard. Bellinger now has a 10-game hit streak. Volpe swings and misses through the first offering. Volpe with that average up to 240, OPS up to 270. I beg your pardon, 770. Early scoring opportunity here in the first for the Yankees. Judge at third, Bellinger at second. A chance to get to Castillo early. Back on Friday, Castillo allowed 5 runs in 5 innings to the Blue Jays. He's had 2 outings where he's given up at least 5 runs. In the 6 others, 3 runs or fewer. 1-2. Since his trade to Seattle at the deadline in 2022, Luis Castillo among American League pitchers. 4th in wins, 5th in innings pitched, and 14th in earned run average. Swing and a miss. There's strike 3. Well, the Yankees flirt with Castillo here in the first. A home run robbed, 2 stranded. Yankees fail to score in the top of the first. Let's take a look at the Mariners starting lineup as they go up against Will Warren, Miles Mastroboni in the leadoff spot, Jorge Polanco DHing, and it's Rodriguez, Raleigh, Arozarena. Rowdy Tellez gets started first against the right-hander. Leody Taveras in right, Ben Williamson and Leo Rivas rounded out.
Well, the numbers for Will Warren. Outstanding job his last start against the Athletics. 87 pitches, went a career high 7 1/3, only 1 run, 1 walk. Well, let's check out the Nissan pitcher scouting report on Will Warren. Change is good. That changeup that he had in his last outing, he threw it 9 times. Really good pitch, especially to a lefty. You can set up the slider with the fastball. He did a great job in and out with the 2-seamer, the 4-seamer upstairs. And that's what you want to do against the Mariners, establish that fastball. He threw it 60% of the time in his last outing.
compared to about 38% average in his previous starts.
Well, the 25-year-old right-hander getting to work against Miles Mastrobuoni, lefty leadoff hitter. Second game leading off this season. Again, a late insertion into the leadoff spot. He was originally supposed to be batting 8th today.
Well, Meredith mentioned in the open during the pregame that he averaged 11 pitches per inning in his last start. His previous starts about 20, and a lot of that is because he threw his fastball a lot more. If you can hit both sides and command that right away, you'll cut down that 20 pitch per inning, and that gets you deep in the ballgame.
How he is able to do that, especially against left-handers, could determine a lot of his success here as a young starter.
Yeah, four-seamers in on lefties. You can throw that changeup down and away, maybe even use it a little bit more in this game.
Just tapped. Mastrobuoni was a pinch hitter last night, then played second base. The only player on the position side that didn't play last night was J.C. Escara. Mariners used their entire bench. 1-2. Ripped into left center, coming over Grisham, makes the catch. Let's take a look at the Chevy Yankees defense behind Will Warren. Dominguez, Grisham, and Bellinger, and then in the infield, Ben Rice making the start at first. DJ LeMahieu at second, Volpe at short, and Jorby Bibas, his first big league start at third base. Made 169 starts at third in the minors.
I mean, one thing to look over, that we're going to look for from Bibas is his throwing arm. I mean, he's usually a second baseman, a little shorter throw.
He was out there at third before the game, fielding grounders from infield coach, first base coach Travis Chapman.
He may be someone, I mean, you look at last night, you had Peraza, who plays a really deep third base, has a really strong arm over there. Bibas might be one of those guys that maybe come in just a little bit to cut off that throw or not make it so long.
Aaron Boone was saying before the game they feel that Bibas can handle the position, feel like he has a good first step playing third base. And they think offensively, although he hasn't shown it yet, getting beat by a lot of fastballs, they feel like his contact ability will translate to the big leagues. Next pitch. Polanco DHing, didn't start last night. Tied for 6th among American League hitters in home runs, 5th in RBIs. He's had a sensational start to the season. Let's take a look at the FanDuel live game the FanDuel live same game parlay. Man. Aaron Judge to record a multi-hit game. Dominguez to record 3 total bases. Only had a cup and a half of coffee, Dylan.
I like the Judge. I like the Will Warren as well.
Payoff. Swing and a miss. Curveball from Warren. 2 away. Good movement. Let's take a look at the Varzinga hitter scouting report for Julio Rodriguez.
No, he's an all-star rookie of the year. That was in 2022, all-star in 22 and 23. And we talked about in the open, he's heating up. Last 15, 281, 4 homers, 5 RBIs. And a tale of 2 halves. He's always started out slow, 259 in the first half. Well, 300 in the second half. And Mariner fans are just waiting for him to put together a full season. He's a terrific athlete, great center fielder, superstar face, I would think, of this team.
Hit 196 over the first 26 games. .30 hitter from 2 years ago, a 20-20 hitter in each of his first 4 seasons here in the bigs. And he is locked up long term. About 3 years ago, Rodriguez and Seattle agreed to an extension that runs through at least 2034. There are options that could add as many as 5 additional seasons. It's worth $210 million guaranteed, and it could potentially max out at $470 million. Wide range. Goes upstairs, misses the heater. Will Warren looking impressive. Retires the side in order at the end of the first. Fans, suit up this season at MLBshop.com. Check out the largest selection of authentic jerseys, caps, hoodies, t-shirts, and more. Visit MLBshop.com, the official source for your Yankees gear. Is it usually this cold in Seattle in May?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Shaq.
So the last 2 days were those were the outliers.
Yes, exactly. It won't get warm here till maybe middle of June. And the airplane hangar that you mentioned of T-Mobile, it's a open air stadium, so they wanted to make sure that everybody felt the elements. And when it does rain, it'll come in the stadium, especially around the upper deck area out in the outfield. All that area out there is all open.
Did it affect you at all as a pitcher?
Not really, because we're moving all the time, and then we had the big heaters out in the bullpen to keep us warm. So once you got out there, since you're moving, and infielders, it gets pretty chilly, I'm sure, especially at night.
Well, just the open air effects.
No, I mean, it's again, we were pitching, and so we're constantly moving, so it was a little bit better. I mean, I don't like pitching in the cold. I'd much rather have the hotter the better. I mean, even in New York, I mean, it's going to be cold in the beginning of the season. Chicago, Cleveland, you go to those places late in the season, September, or even April, May. It's not fun.
2-2 to Dominguez, and he pops it up. Williamson. One away.
Never understood why the pitchers just don't catch these balls. I mean, Castillo was camped under it, and these infielders are running from deep third or deep short. They're always told, pitchers, get out of the way.
The tradition continues.
I know, and we're the best athletes. Usually the smartest. I mean, we have the ball all the time.
Well, here's DJ LeMahieu with his first start of the season. Hit 204 last year, and after September 3rd, missed the rest of the season with a hip injury. Was activated yesterday. Made an appearance late. And he rips it foul down the right field line. LeMahieu 2 for 10 in his career against Luis Castillo. You heard Meredith talk with LeMahieu, finishing up his rehab on a high note. One-two. Rolled sharply. Williamson. Nice backhanded pick. 2 away. Well, the Mariners like their young third baseman's ability on defense. believe he has a great glove, strong arm, and he's able to show it off there.
Yeah, really good defensive player. They're just waiting for that bat to come into play.
J.C. Escara gets the start. And he sends it into center. Rodriguez came in. He drifts back now. And a 1-2-3 inning. Top of the second for Luis Castillo and the Mariners. Seattle coming up to hit when we come back. It's time for Pinstripe Pride, brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. And today's picture is of Jimmy from New Jersey, who's a lifelong Yankees fan. He's sporting his Jazz Chisholm Jr. basketball jersey at the stadium recently. He's got some bling around the neck as well. Use the hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride. Mention yes in pictures you post to social media to reflect your love for the Bronx Bombers, and we might spotlight you in a future game. We see a lot of players rock those basketball jerseys. I saw a player.
Did you get one?
I didn't get one yet. I got the hockey jersey. I saw a player wearing a hockey jersey this morning.
I like the hockey jersey. It's pretty sweet.
I think it was Cody Bellinger wearing the hockey jersey. Cal Raleigh was started off. Will Warren retired first three in order in the first inning. Raleigh had an RBI double last night. For most of the game, that run stood as the difference. Happened in the fourth inning. He's driven in 3 of the Mariners' 7 runs this series. Meredith and the rest of the media are discussing Will Warren with Aaron Boone before the game, and well, Aaron was just talking about that next level that a pitcher like Will Warren can get to, and it largely just comes down to execution. Earlier in the season, maybe makes a mistake to a batter, maybe brought that into what was coming up in front of him next.
Well, it's getting ahead and being able to do what he just did there. 3-1 count against a power hitter in Cal Raleigh, and he drops a sweeper in on him to get back into the count at 3-2. That's exactly what you have to do when you get behind.
Swing and a miss. Curveball gets Raleigh. 3rd strikeout in a row for Will Warren.
Well, the curveball is a pitch that he really doesn't use very often, only 5% of the time, and he's thrown it already 3 times in this game. You know, I talk so much about establishing your fastball, and one of the reasons is mechanically when you start throwing your fastball to both sides of the plate, that's where you need to dial in your mechanics, because if all of a sudden you're off speed happy, slider, sweeper, the curveball, the changeup, when you go to throw a fastball, a lot of times you get really quick. So that last outing from Will Warren, he did a great job establishing his fastball, throwing it a lot, and that really helps you mechanically. You can go inside just like he did there with a 4-seam fastball or a 2-seamer, and then it opens up the outside part of the plate. This is a perfect opportunity for a good sweeper down and away.
Already ahead 0-2 on Arozarena, who saw his 34-game on-base streak end last night. Went 0 for 4. There's that sweeper.
And not a bad idea. It was semi-competitive only because you started out on the outside corner and it broke a little bit too much on you. And you just have to stay back, maybe stay closed a little bit, and you'll get that swing and miss.
The 1-2. Arozarena doesn't budge. Rowdy Tellez on deck. Another pitch outside. Arozarena's walk rate is the highest it's ever been. Showing good plate discipline here in 2025. Payoff. The outside corner called strike 3. 4 strikeouts in a row for Will Warren. Let's take a look at the leaders, brought to you by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers.
Well, the opponent's average outstanding. I was looking at right-handers. He dominates right. He's 189. Lefty's 267. This is a fastball. Starts on the outside half, just catches that corner.
Tellez takes a look at a pitch high and away. Here you see what Rowdy Tellez has been able to do in 34 games. He's 1 for his last 12. Came off the bench last night, played first base. Aside from Rodriguez and Arozarena, 2 true right-handers. And then you have Ben Williamson near the bottom of the lineup. Every other hitter for Seattle is going to bat from the left side against Warren.
Really good changeup, and that's a pitch that I could see him using quite a bit against the lefties in this Mariner lineup.
Can he put him away on 2-2 with 2 outs? He got him. Curveball down, swinging. 5th strikeout for Will Warren. They've all come consecutively here in the early portion in Seattle. Let's check out the T-Mobile coverage cam from one center fielder to another. This was the series opener on Monday. Trent Grisham sending it deep to the wall. Went off the glove for Rodriguez, but on Wednesdays we wear pink, and he's able to take it back.
Yeah, the blue glove, not a very good glove, and you have to switch it up to make the catch. I think he thought that one on Monday was a little bit easier.
This one ripped into right field by Jorby Bibas. Leadoff single to start the top of the 3rd.
Well, first pitch fastball. Got right on top of that one. That was a real good swing.
All right, so let's see what Trent Grisham could do. Second plate appearance. This series featuring 2 outstanding defensive center fielders. Yankees have made quality contact against Luis Castillo thus far. This is his 7th start against the Yanks in his career. Entering today, 3-3 record, 2.95 career ERA. The Yankees beat him the last 2 times they faced him. And he's allowed 3 runs or less in every start against the Yankees. There's a time when he was traded in 2022. Went from the Reds to the Mariners, and he made 3 starts. As Grisham swings through the fastball against the Yankees in about a 4-week period.
He's always had a real good changeup and good fastball combination. The changeup he's used a little bit more earlier in his career, even when he came over to the Mariners from the Reds. He's always been one of those guys who'll get you deep into the game. There you see his arsenal right there, and that's what we're seeing a lot more this year is the fastball, the 2-seamers, the 4-seamers, and there's that soft stuff. The slider, almost a 300 average, 261 on that changeup. One thing he hasn't gotten a lot of this year is the swing and miss. He's a guy that usually is double digits, about 10 strikeouts per 9, only about 7 this year. He's gone to more two-seamers. I saw him in spring training, a lot more 2-seamers away, especially to lefties.
32 years of age. Out of this talented Mariner rotation, he has the most experience. Grisham gets out of the way there. they continue to take some bumps. Before the game today, they put Bryce Miller on the injured list with elbow inflammation. So you have Kirby, Gilbert, and now Miller all on the injured list.
Yeah, I think Kirby will make one more start, but Logan Gilbert, he's still a ways away. I think he just started throwing in the bullpen.
2-2. Got him looking. Slider catches the corner. Third strikeout for Castillo.
Now the slider really doesn't have a big sweeping break. It almost comes out of the hand and it looks like a cutter more than a big slider. It just locks up Grissom on the inner half. He knew it.
Here's Ben Rice. 1 out, 1 on. Yankees are trying to take their 3rd straight series. Both of these clubs in first place in their respective divisions. And it's smacked into center field. Base hit for Rice. Sharp turnaround second by Bibas. He'll stay there. And the Yankees have runners at first and second with just 1 out for Aaron Judge.
Another off-speed pitch. That slider. There you see not a lot of break off the end of the bat. Gets it over the shortstop Rivas's head. And Bibas, he thought about going to the third, put on the brakes.
Bibas is an aggressive player. He's the lead runner at second. Rice at first. Here's Judge. Judge is 4 for 8 with a home run in his career against Castillo. Singled off of him in the first. He's done some damage in this ballpark in the past. He's had a pretty good series. It's been a very balanced, outstanding start for Aaron Judge. Home, road, righties, lefties, doesn't matter. He's reached in every road game played so far this season.
Well, not a lot of fastballs from Castillo. He does not want to give him the heat. A couple sliders, that changeup down.
Turn, throw to second. Bibas gets back. Two one. Bellinger waits on deck. Gets it to Chase.
You know, Judge thinking, okay, 3-1, you got to give me a fastball. Gives you the slider away.
Count's full, and Judge will take some time here to break up the rhythm. Payoff. Got him. Fastball right down the middle. 2 away.
Well, the only fastball Aaron Judge saw in that at-bat was on a 3-2 count right down the middle. And he just gets underneath. A lot of sliders away. The one changeup down and in.
Bellinger doubled in the first. Runners at first and second, 2 away.
Here you see what Bellinger's been able to do over that 10-game hit streak. It's been a really good one. And a hitter could have 10 hits in 10 games. But he's hit well. Castillo behind again, 2-1. Bellinger 5 for 20 with 8 strikeouts against Luis Castillo in his career. 9 strikeouts. Castillo puts 2 runners on. Yankees can't get him home. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Let's take a look at the pitching decisions presented by Sage for Will Warren.
He struck out the last 5 Mariners. How about power on power right there? Good curveball. Thrown a curveball a few times against lefties. He got Raleigh. He got Tellez. He struck out the side there in the 2nd.
Both Warren and Castillo with 5 strikeouts apiece. Leody Taveras, the hitter to lead off the bottom of the 3rd. Switch hitter, 0 for his last 9. And he rolls it to LeMahieu. A chance there, and no one was covering first. Taveras collides with Rice. And he's going to reach Rice and Warren late to the bag. See if Taveras is okay.
Well, the ball hit him. You look at this play, watch where Rice, you got to know where your second baseman is. Rice goes for it, and that causes him to be late to the bag. He didn't turn around quick enough. You know, Rice, this is only his, I think, 9th or 10th game over there this year. You just have to understand where your second baseman is playing and knowing that when that ball gets hit in the hole that you got to break to first. Let your second baseman have it. Will Warren just assuming that Rice was going to get over there, and it just didn't happen.
It's a miscue by Rice, but the error given to DJ LeMahieu, a tough break.
Yeah, you watch this. Will Warren's over there right away, but once he sees Rice at the bag, there's no sense of having 2 guys. Rice just didn't turn around quick enough. There you see Taveras running into Rice.
Shows you how much of a truck Ben Rice is.
Just dropped him, run into a brick wall.
So a runner at first on the E4. Ben Williamson, the hitter.
You know, always with an infielder, everybody's first instinct is that you want to go get the ball. Understandable. Understand where your second baseman is playing, especially against a left-handed hitter. He's probably playing more towards the pull side. So you know that's probably going to be his ball. You get over to first.
Yeah, Rice has gotten some run at first late in some games. This is his 6th start at first today. Williamson went 1 for 4 last night. Paul Goldschmidt gave it the day off going into the off day tomorrow. He has started 39 of the Yankees' first 42 games, so a well-deserved off day. Now Warren trying to battle back. This is another acid test here for a young pitcher. Again, something not going your way. See how you respond.
No, errors are going to happen behind you, and that's when you bear down on the mound and you want to pick up your infielders. Try to get a ground ball double play here, maybe even a strikeout.
Three and 2 to Williamson, and Warren gets him looking right at the bottom of the zone. Strike 3. 6th Yankees strikeout is brought to you by Audi and the 2025 Audi Q6. Visit your local tri-state Audi dealer today.
Now two-seam fastball away. You got a Rosarena in the second inning. Locked him up on a fastball away. Locked up Williamson. That's a big strikeout right there.
So 1 out for Leo Rivas. Throw back to first. Rivas initially on the bench today. Gets the late start with J.P. Crawford being scratched. Switch hitter, 14 for 42 on the season.
Tavares over there at first. He has 7 stolen bases this year between Seattle and Texas. The Mariners are a team that like to run. I haven't seen them run hardly at all here in this series.
They have 43 stolen bases in 42 games. Let's see what's cooking up. It's something special with Hexclad. Join the hybrid revolution at hexclad.com. Last 8 starts have been terrific.
Yeah, and also going deep into the ball game, eliminating some of those middle outs from your relievers.
To Rivas, the number 9 hitter. Line drive, right field, base hit. Tavares, he'll stop at second. And Warren gives up a single to Leo Rivas. Mariners have 2 on with 1 out.
Well, it's tough for a young pitcher with the pitch clock, 18 seconds with men on base, to try to gather yourself after you get behind a hitter, and that was a 2-seamer down and away, a 3-1 count that the hitter's going to be aggressive on. You know, you try to teach yourself, and as you get more experience in the big leagues, to try to slow the game down. So when heated moments like a 3-1 count or when you have men on base, you don't start rushing. But it's hard to do that now when you have the pitch count, the 15 seconds with nobody on base, the 18 when you have men on base. You really can't slow the game down. You got to get right back on the rubber and try to forget about whatever happened and make decisions quickly.
Matt Blake walking back to the Yankee dugout.
That's about the only time you can really slow the game down, when you get a mound visit by your pitching coach or if your catcher comes out.
And that's pretty much the message right there from Matt Blake.
Exactly. You know, the last couple hitters he's gotten behind on, you know, you try to erase that error out of your head, try to pick up your infielders here.
Tavares is at second. He reached on an error. Leo Rivas singled into right field. Mastroboni, the leadoff hitter, flew out to center field his first time up. Warren retired the first 6 batters he faced, 5 of which came on a strikeout. Two. Mastroboni taps it. Warren got him. Runners advance. Tavares to third. Rivas to second. So a productive out for the Mariner leadoff hitter. See if Warren can get to the end of the tightrope here against one of the hotter hitters over the first quarter of the season. He's a switch hitter. Struck out back in the first inning.
You know, he's also not afraid to lay one down. Vivas, the third baseman, he was playing deep, and they called him in, saying, "Hey, you got to get in." They'll sneak a bunt down the third baseline, and there you see him on the grass now.
Warren stays away, 2-0. Taveras at third, Rivas at second, 2 outs. And the 2-0. Polanco this season in a small sample, 11 for 22 with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, and I would imagine he has a green light here. 3-0, 2 outs. 10 homers on the season and 321.
Warren's pitch. Well out of the zone, ball 4. Bases loaded for J-Rod. Well, the inning getting stickier for Will Warren. And now Rodriguez will try to make him pay.
Yeah, this is where you watch first pitch fastball. You can really take advantage of Rodriguez's aggression here with maybe a good sweeper down and away. Catch that outside corner.
Taveras at third, Rivas at second. On at first, Polanco. Fastball down the right field line, base hit. It kicks off the sidewall. Tough hop for Bellinger. 1 runs in, another run scores. Over to third is Polanco, and Julio Rodriguez makes Warren and the Yankees pay with a 2-run double. Seattle's up 2-0.
Well, you had to be careful with the first pitch fastball. And Rodriguez gets one on the outer half and up, and he just hits it right down the right field line. It just stays fair. You know, that's a pitch after a walk from Polanco. You know that Rodriguez is going to be aggressive. He's an RBI guy. He wants to come through. He's looking for red, dead red, and he got it.
Rodriguez continues to swing the bat well here in the middle of May. Mariners still with now 2 in scoring position. Raleigh sends it into center field. Coming on, Grisham makes the diving catch to stop the bleeding. Raleigh robbed of a base hit, but the Mariners scored 2. Stay tuned to Yes tonight after Yankees coverage as Gracie Cashman sits down with Anthony Volpe for a deep dive into the numbers that have defined his career. Watch the season premiere of The Story of My Number, presented by the New York Lottery, immediately following Yankee coverage on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Beautiful sight here in the Pacific Northwest. Anthony Volpe at the plate with the Yankees now trailing 2-0. Struck out in the first against Castillo. Castillo mixing speeds well.
Yeah, and he's got a little extra against the Yankees today. That's one thing that's eluded him this year, is that swing and miss. The fastballs a tick up. He's usually about 93, 94. We've seen 97 today.
Trying to dump the slider over. Well, back in 2022 when he was traded, it was reported that the Reds were interested in Anthony Volpe in a trade with the Yankees for Castillo. Volpe obviously stayed put, and Castillo was dealt to Seattle. Mariners locked Castillo up to an extension shortly thereafter. Volpe flies it into right field. Taveras makes the catch. 2 Here's Dominguez, popped out to third base, his first time up. Saw Jason react last night after that low strike call that led to Aaron Boone being ejected. And Boone said he went out there quickly to rescue Jason because he'd never seen a 22-year-old react that way. Rosarena waiting for it in left, 2 out. But Dominguez said after the game that was a low pitch.
Yeah, Mark Wegner had a tough night last night. And that scouting report in the beginning, he said he's more hitter friendly. Well, he was all over the map last night. That ball was down. Boone got his money's worth.
And Meredith, you spoke to Jason last night?
And he said he was absolutely shocked that that was called a strike. And Aaron Boone also said after the game he didn't think that he said anything to get wrong. But right there, obviously heated after it had happened.
Wegner at third base today. Three and no to LeMahieu. Yankees trail 2-0 in the top of the fourth. Like Nelly said moments ago, Castillo working with some pop on that fastball. Extra velocity today. Shot down the right field line, more toward the corner, and it's fouled. JC Escarra waits on deck. Here's the payoff. Two. He walks him. Let's take a look at the optimum. Don't take slow for an answer replay. Last week against the Padres, JC Escarra coming through with a pinch hit sac fly to walk it off for the Yanks in the Bronx. That's got to feel good. Escarra coming to the plate here.
First career walk-off.
I feel like every moment that happens to JC this season, all the firsts. First situation where he's really coming through, and I was talking with him on Mother's Day in Sacramento. He was putting on some of the pink catcher's gear. Just has an appreciation for each step. He's in the big leagues for the first time on a day like Mother's Day.
He's come a long way in his career.
We saw the phone call that JC made to his mom in spring training once he was told he made the team. He and his mom are extremely close. He works really hard as a longtime nurse in the Miami area. When you experience things for the first time as a big leaguer after putting all that sweat in, all that hard work, it means a lot more.
Uber driver, independent ball, and a New York Yankee.
Two and two. LeMahieu on at first, and another foul ball. Pretty good crowd on hand for a Wednesday day game, especially in the lower bowl. Had a career day early this morning. A lot of fans.
Yes, they did.
Sitting in for a panel.
High school kids.
Yeah.
A lot of seniors ready to go to college. I think they were talking about careers in sports.
And several Mariner executives just sharing their experiences. LeMahieu goes. It's rolled to the left side. And Williamson puts it away. Escara and the Yankees retired here in the fourth. On Monday, May 19th, Jazz Chisholm is hosting the second annual Tunnel Fits and Kicks charity fashion show, benefiting the Jazz Chisholm Foundation. This red carpet affair includes a live auction, cocktail reception, and will conclude with the fashion show.
Meredith is emceeing it.
Get ready for the runway. Here's Randy Arozarena to start off the bottom of the fourth. Struck out in the second. Both runs in that third inning unearned for Will Warren.
That was a good sweeper right there. I would love to see Will Warren run a two-seamer inside here. You know, just for an effect. You don't have to throw a strike, but it looks like Arozarena is covering way too much of the outside part of the plate and also spitting on those sliders down and a sweeper down. These guys aren't looking for anything in, especially if your game plan is to get hitters out away.
Arozarena stayed back, according to the first base umpire. Shane Livensparger.
That could have been the 0-2 pitch right there. I would have liked to have seen that just a little bit more in and then go down and away.
3-2. Rowdy Tellez on deck. Came inside and it hit him. So the sweeper on 3-2 hits Arozarena, and leadoff man aboard.
Well, he just gets underneath this, and when you get underneath the sweeper, it doesn't do anything. It stays in the inside half, just gets off of that elbow guard.
So Warren allows the leadoff batter to reach here. Leadoff batter last inning reached on an error. This one on a hit by pitch. Tellez takes a look at a first pitch strike. Volpe playing to as close and behind the bag at second as he can. Two and one to Tellez. He's 1 for his last 13. Doesn't get on base much. Tellez has not had an on-base percentage above 300 since 2022. And Warren ready, 2-2.
3-2, nobody out. Rosarena can run over there. With Warren throwing a lot of off speed, it'd be tough for Escara to get a good throw off. 8 stolen bases, has not been caught yet this year, Rosarena.
Hit foul. So Warren in a full count. And he got him on the lower end of the zone. Tellez down looking. 7th strikeout for Will Warren.
Well, a lot of off speed, a couple change-ups in a row, and then he goes four-seamer right down the middle of the plate. It just catches that bottom half of the strike zone.
Here's Taveras. Reached on the error, later scored a run. Taveras trying to find his way after a slow start with the Rangers. Was let go. Shows bunt there. Mariners quickly picked him up. And their everyday right fielder as they await the return of Victor Robles, which isn't going to be happening for at least another month and a half or so. All right, Warren gets ahead 1-2 here. Let's see if he can make quick work out of Taveras. Got him to go, swinging on the curveball. There's strike 3. 8th strikeout for Will Warren, and they're 2 down.
Real good late break on this curveball. He's thrown the curveball a lot. It seems like he's had a better feel for that pitch against lefties. He's got a few strikeouts on that curveball.
Warren had 7 strikeouts on Friday in Sacramento, 8 here. There's Williamson, who struck out back in the 3rd inning.
You know, you really never know what you're going to have start by start as far as pitches. You go down the bullpen and you warm up and you're thinking, hey, I got a great slider today. And then you go out on that game mound and you're like, okay, where is that sweeper? Where is that slider? And you have to go to the curveball.
Twelve of 17 first pitch strikes. Quickly ahead, 0-2. Runner goes. Pitch outside. Throw to second. It sails it to center field. And then Rosarena is going to obviously stay put on his belly. So a 9th stolen base for Rosarena here. Now he's in scoring position.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad pitch to get a good throw off. You got a fastball down and away. And that throw was just offline. You get that on the bag, you might have got a Rosarena there.
Now one skips in the dirt. Escara keeps it in front of him. Warren still a strike away from not having to worry about that runner at second. Mariners up 2-0, looking for more here against the Yankees in the series finale. And it's popped up, foul ground. It'll hit the seats.
Warren's next strikeout will be a season high, or a career high, actually. Tied already a season high a couple starts ago with 8 punchies.
At 2-2, just staying alive is Williamson. Rivas on deck. Williams was promoted last month, started really hot at the plate. 3 for his last 16. He's cooled off. 2-2 again. This is popped up. And Bellinger could have a play in right near the line, makes the catch. Cody Bellinger puts it away. Will Warren strands a runner in scoring position. We'll go to the 5th. Well, one of the most highly anticipated Subway Series in years pulls into the Bronx this weekend, and it all starts on Yes. Special extended pregame coverage begins Friday at 5:30 with first pitch scheduled for shortly after 7 o'clock on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Going to be a good one this weekend. Yankees and Mets. A return to the Bronx for Juan Soto. Jorby Bibas, number 9 hitter, leads it off. And a diving stab attempt by Tellez. It bounces off his glove. Mariners able to regroup. Get the play at first. Mastroboni and Castillo team up for the putout. Score at 3-4-1.
Well, that was a great recovery from Castillo. You watch, this is a line drive right to Tellez. Off his glove. Castillo got a late break. He's got some speed on that mound. Got over there to make the play. Watch him, just watching, and then he's got to hustle over.
So Bibas retired. Here's Grisham. Another hard pitch smacked foul on the first base side. Now, Aaron Boone was asked about the Subway Series now coming up a little over 48 hours from now. Meredith, what did he say?
Well, I think everybody is curious to see how fans in the Bronx greet Juan Soto. Aaron Boone was asked whether or not he thought it would be a warm welcome, and he just kind of smiled. He said it's the Bronx, so that should be interesting to say the least. But you know, both of these teams playing very well right now. I have BP All Access that day. I hope everybody tunes in. We're expected to talk to both Aaron Boone and Carlos Mendoza on that show, as well as some others, and we'll catch up with Kenny Singleton too. So it should be a good show and a good series.
Yeah, the warmest of welcomes coming up for Juan Soto, right?
It is gonna be loud. We know that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's going to be a standing ovation for him.
He has to know it's coming, though, right?
I don't know about clapping.
He has to know it's coming.
Soto was asked by Steve Serby of the Post about the reception. He was laughing and he said, yeah, it's a fun matchup. It's going to be fun. Soto said he thinks the fans are going to be loud. It's going to be exciting, and he's expecting the best. That sound like a challenge? Juan Soto saying I'm expecting the best?
He's gonna get the best.
I don't think he needs to challenge him. I think they're going to bring it, Justin. But it definitely adds a little fuel to the fire of the Subway Series. Both teams playing extremely well right now.
That's ball 4 to Trent Grisham. As Castillo misses inside, a 1-out walk. So that begins Friday night. Worth noting, Clay Holmes will not start this weekend in the series. His turn in the rotation won't be coming up. No word what the Yankees rotation will officially be just yet. Rice back up the middle, could be 2. Rivas does it all himself. An inning-ending double play, and the Yankees are retired in order. Fans, go to @YesNetwork on X and vote for the Montefiore Einstein Player of the Week. It'll be Aaron Judge, Trent Grisham, Ben Rice. your choice to vote for the player of the week. Will Warren going back out to work. Yankees trail 2-0 in the bottom of the 5th inning. We're getting back to the Subway Series coming up this weekend. Obviously an off day tomorrow, and that allows the Yankees to have the big 3 pitchers in their rotation go for the 3 games.
Yeah, they have Rodon, Schmidt, and then Fried going up against McGill, Canning, and Peterson for the Mets, was what the MLB app says.
And with an off day tomorrow and on Monday, that allows the 4 entrenched Yankee starters to go on the regular day's rest. So we've seen Ryan Yarbrough kind of float with that 5th starter spot, but it allows the 4 main guys to not skip a beat, so the Yankees could go that route if they want. And a guy like Yarbrough, who's pretty flexible, just allows them to maneuver that way. Freese and Rivas. Will Warren, their strikeout number 9.
Well, changeup inside and up. Wanted it down, but it was still effective. Career high, 9 punch-outs.
So 1 out. Mastroboni back up. And a soft liner snatched by Volpe. 2 away. Volpe meeting that with his glove right to the ground. There you see the 9 strikeouts for Will Warren. Quickly 2 outs. Warren trying to go for a low pitch count here this inning. As Jeff mentioned, he's got a high average in pitches per inning. Entered today at 18.3 pitches thrown per inning. It's the 3rd highest in the American League.
Now the Yankees will get some action going in their bullpen. 87 pitches in Warren's last outing.
Grounded through the hole at shortstop. Base hit for Polanco.
There's a fastball upstairs off the end of the bat. Volpe playing up the middle. There's that big hole there at shortstop.
Matt Blake coming out to talk with Anthony Volpe, or Will Warren rather. Anthony Volpe and Ben Rice and Jorge Bibas, LeMahieu, Scara, everybody joining on the mound. Tyler Matzik warms up.
Well, a lot of this is to give Matzik the time to get ready. He would probably face Raleigh if Rodriguez gets on. You want Raleigh hitting from the right side.
It's a big spot here in this game as Warren faces the heart of the Mariner lineup a 3rd time through. Been missing a lot of bats lately, Nelly.
He has, and he's got strikeout stuff. Tonight, the fastball command wasn't as good as the last outing, but that's okay. But he's had a really good curveball. The 9 strikeouts, got some swing and misses. The sweeper. He's also locked some guys up with that fastball in breaking ball counts.
Warren starts J-Rod off with a sweeper outside. Came at him with a first pitch fastball back in the 3rd. It led to 2 runs being driven home by Rodriguez. Fooled him on that one.
You know, I'll put Clark Schmidt in this conversation as well as far as the 2-seam fastball and running it in on righties. You know, you don't see a lot of pitchers around baseball anymore come inside.
Missed with that 2-seamer.
That's a good 2-seamer. You know, if you're ahead in the count, that pitch is a lot more effective because then it opens up the outside. You a lot of times, the scouting report says, oh, don't throw inside. We don't want to make a mistake inside. You can throw it for a strike, and you also can get the hitter off. Because most pitchers want to get hitters away, out.
Threw that one for a strike. Battled back to work the count full on Rodriguez. So a chance for Warren to get through 5 complete here. Yankees trail 2-0, bottom of the 5th. Runner at first with 2 away. Warren comes ready. 3-2. Runner goes. And it's sent high in the air. Left field. Dominguez moving back. He's at the wall. Makes the catch in front of the wall. Jason Dominguez puts it away. And Will Warren is through 5. He strands a runner. We go to the 6th. Still 2-0.
Chris Sheeran back here with this Audi update. Twins O's bottom 3. Twins up 4-1. Bases loaded. 2 out. Simeon Woods Richardson facing Cedric Mullins, and he turns on the hanging slider. A grand slam, giving the O's a 5-4 lead. 2 pitches later, a testing Kjerstad. He crushes one to right for a solo shot. O's go back-to-back. 6-4. They're up 6-5. Let's send it back to Shaq and Nelly.
Well, thank you, Chris. Let's go around the majors. Javier Baez continues to bounce back in a big way for the Tigers. 2 3-run homers last night. Corbin Carroll tied Aaron Judge and Kyle Schwarber with his 14th home run as Judge steps to the plate.
Javi Baez hitting .319. They move him to center field, get him out of the infield, relax him a little bit. He's an exciting player. Corbin Carroll, Rookie of the Year a couple years ago, finally feeling healthy. He was banged up a little bit last year. He's from down the road here in Seattle, in Tacoma.
One and 2 on Judge. Now his company at the top of that home run leaderboard. 1 for 2 here this afternoon. One-two. Got him to chase the slider. Second strikeout by Castillo against Judge. 1 away.
Well, he got Judge the last time on a 3-2 fastball right down the middle that he swung underneath. That time he went away with the slider, and it was down.
So here's Cody Bellinger. 1 for 2. He pops it up. Coming in is Taveras in right. There's 2 away. Yankees are attacking Castillo early here through 8 pitches in the 5th. He already has 2 outs here in the 6th. So Volpe will now hit. The Mariners are trying to win their 10th series in the last 11 played. They were slowed up over the weekend by the Blue Jays, who swept them. But before that, they had been the hottest team in baseball. Seattle is 16-5-3 in series played since Dan Wilson took over in the second half of last season. Carlos Vargas on the mound in the bullpen.
Throw Edgar Martinez in there as well, and Kevin Seitzer. Both those guys, the hitting instructors, 2 great hitters. Edgar Martinez, a Hall of Famer. There's Dan Wilson. It's a really good catcher here in Seattle.
There's Edgar, Hall of Famer. There's a strike call on the outside. Mariners are getting ready to induct another great into the Hall of Fame later this summer. They have a countdown to Cooperstown banner for Ichiro Suzuki. They're going to retire his number alongside Edgar Martinez's number 11, Ken Griffey Jr.'s number 24. Volpe sends it high in the air to right field. Taveras moving back, and it's off the base of the wall. Volpe sprinting it to second, and he'll slide in safely with a 2-out double.
Well, nice job going the other way. This is a fastball upstairs. He gets on top of it. It gets off that right center field wall. You watch where Taveras is playing. Taveras has a good arm in right. And Volpe had to hustle.
#12th double of the season for Volpe. So the Yankees will have a runner in scoring position, and a meeting on the mound with Castillo and pitching coach Pete Woodworth.
Now the Yankees 0 for 14 with runners in scoring position last night. 0 for 3 so far today.
That makes him 4 for 31 in the series. It's hard to believe when last night was just the lone night where the offense was quiet.
Well, you had a good pitcher in Wu, and you had a good pitcher on the other side with the Yankees in Fried. It was a good pitcher's duel, and the bullpens on both sides did an outstanding job.
Here's Jason Dominguez. And he rips it past the lunge of Tellez down the right field line. That heads to the wall. Volpe will score from second. It's back-to-back doubles. Jason Dominguez drives in the Yankees' first run of the game, and it's 2-1 Seattle.
Well, Dominguez gets a first pitch slider, and he's all over it. And he crushes it down that right field line. That's going to score Volpe easily from second. A 2-out rally.
Good piece of hitting with 2 outs, and that runner in scoring position. Now let's see if the Yankees can tie it up. Dominguez at second, LeMahieu at the plate. Walked his last time up. And he swings at the first pitch. It's rolled to Tellez. He'll take it himself, and the side retired. But the Yankees get on the board. RBI double, Jason Dominguez, and it's 2-1 in the middle of the 6th. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. By Nissan. At Nissan, we make cars that thrill. Experience the thrill for yourself today. Shop NissanUSA.com. And by Optimum Fiber. Get Optimum, the fastest fiber internet. Don't take slow for an answer. Let's take a look at the bullpen budget. It's brought to you by Citizens. Make sense of your money with Citizens. A lot of relievers putting in work last night with that extra inning loss. And here's Tyler Matzik. Lefty for the Yankees. Deals a first pitch strike to Cal Raleigh.
Yeah, he had a couple, 3 or 4 of those guys lighter multiple days in a row. Hill, Williams, and Weaver yesterday went 2. I saw the 21 pitches from him in 2 innings.
It's quickly ahead 0-2 on Raleigh. Mariner catcher 0 for 2 today. So Will Warren allows 2 unearned runs on 3 hits in 5 innings and a career high 9 strikeouts. Tried to pitch around an error in the 3rd inning, couldn't do it. 2-run double by Julio Rodriguez. Drove in 2. Raleigh drives it into left field. It'll drop in for a base hit. Sharp turn by Raleigh, and a sharp throw into the infield from Dominguez.
Well, he got a slider and stayed out over the middle of the plate. It was supposed to be at the back leg of Raleigh and didn't get down there. Nice job by Dominguez getting it in.
Leadoff hitter aboard. Randy Arozarena hitting here against Matzik. Skied into the air into right field. Bellinger puts it away.
So
what do you think of Will Warren overall?
He's got great stuff. Good fastball. Looked like the sweeper wasn't there for him. He had a better feel for the curveball. That's probably why you saw some deep counts.
Going to see a pinch hitter here in Dylan Moore. So they'll have Moore, a right-hander, who's had a nice season so far. Steady starter at second base. After being a long-time utility player for the Mariners.
You know, every pitcher goes through game plans with the catcher and the pitching coaches, and they go over hitters and how to get guys out. You know, that's great. Sometimes those analytics and sometimes the scouting report works. Sometimes when you're out on the mound, when you're young, as you gain experience, you probably should figure out and start seeing how the hitters are offering at your pitches, read swings, understand, hey, maybe I might have to come in. I always preach in because most pitchers want to get hitters out away. That'll eliminate a lot of deep counts. You see a lot of foul balls as well around the league. You come inside a few times, you won't see those foul balls. You'll see a lot of 4 or 5 pitch at bats.
Runner's going to go. And there'll be no throw. Stolen base for Raleigh. That's his 5th of the season.
Well, off the lefty, you're going to go on first move, and he goes as soon as he lifts the leg. And actually, Matzik, he hung up there. And pitchers, lefties, if they get committed to home, it doesn't matter if they're up. You think, hey, maybe they can go over to first, but they're already committed, and that thought process is delivering it to home.
And now Matzik behind 3-0. Staying back on 3-0. Pitch out of the zone anyway. It's ball 4. Today's injury report brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Jonathan Loaisiga so far in 6 rehab appearances, 1 run allowed, totaling 7 1/3 innings. And the big test is going to come this weekend, where he's slated to throw on back-to-back days. If he gets through that, there's a chance he'll be activated next week, and that would be a big addition to the bullpen.
Oh, huge addition. You get another high-leverage arm down there that can pitch late in the ball game. And you look at today, after the last couple days here in Seattle, a lot of relievers have gone multiple days. Some of the guys down there are going to be asked to do some things that they're probably not used to doing in high leverage situations. For instance, Matzik out there now in the 6th inning trying to get out of this and leave it at a 1-run game.
Ian Hamilton, righty warmed up. Leody Taveras turning around, hitting righty against the lefty Matzik. Mariners trying to add on to their lead here in the bottom of the 6th, up 2-1. Runners at first and second. Taveras reached on the error by the Yankees in the 3rd, later scored a run. Swatted foul. At 6-0-1. Misses outside.
Well, Matzik, a fastball slider guy. He does throw a 2-seam fastball. You'd like to see a 2-seamer down and away, maybe get a ground ball. Be tough to double up Taveras unless it's hit hard to a middle infielder.
Check swing from Taveras, and he went around.
Well, good slider down and in.
I would ask, what'd you think? But I know which way you're going.
I'm going all the way swing.
Of course.
You make contact, that might have been a homer.
No bias whatsoever. 1-2. Did he go again? No.
Now they are experimenting, I think, in independent ball. Did you see it right before they started implementing those new rules? And as far as the check swings, that probably wouldn't have been a check swing if this rule ever gets implemented. But they had to go, a certain way. I think like the 45-degree angle.
Full count.
I mean, they had videos when they were going through the different scenarios and talking about the new rules as far as the shift, the obstruction rule of these guys in the 60s, 70s with the almost full swings and not being called a strike.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Matzik comes back to strike Tavares out. 2 away.
Well, big strikeout there. Heater upstairs.
And that's going to be it. Aaron Boone to the mound. Matzik strikes Tavares out. We'll have a pitching change. A right-hander coming in when we come back. It's that time. Time to name that Yankee. Brought to you by Prevagen. Made for your brain. A career that spanned 10 years. 74 to 84. And it's a 9, Nelly. And I don't have it.
I got to study it a little bit longer.
That's tough. True to the rating. Here's Ian Hamilton. As he works here with 2 outs, see the impressive strikeout rate. You could use one here in this situation with 2 on, 2 out. Ben Williamson, the rookie third baseman at the plate. I've given up easily on that name that Yankee for today. Williamson hitless in 2 at-bats. He sends it in the air to right center. Bellinger reaching up with Grisham, and Bellinger makes the catch. Close call there. The out recorded. We go to the 7th. The Audi electric moment. Experience a fully electric Audi vehicle at your local Tri-State Audi dealer today. We turn the clock back 29 years ago today. Doc Gooden's no-hitter against these Mariners, Nelly.
And that was a really good Mariner lineup. You had Griffey, Buhner, Edgar Martinez, A-Rod, Sorrento. And that day, it was cold and it was windy. I can remember Derek Jeter saying when that ball went up in the air, he didn't know if he was going to be able to catch it because the wind was blowing so hard. And that's a Doc Gooden. I mean, a great teammate, unbelievable teammate. It wasn't a 19-year-old Doc Gooden, 20-year-old Doc Gooden when you had 98 in the tank. I mean, he was about 90 to 91 miles an hour with really good braking stuff.
And there you see the work he did. You earn it against a lineup like that. New pitcher in the game for the Mariners. It's Gabe Speier, the lefty. And Goldschmidt with a pinch hit. Deep drive into left. And it is gone. Goldschmidt ties the game to start the 7th inning with a solo shot down the line and left. It's 2-2.
Well, a nice greeting to Gabe Speier, the Mariners reliever.
Pablo Reyes follows Goldschmidt as a pinch hitter. So Aaron Boone unleashing 2 right-handers against the lefty. First move pays off in a big way, ties the game. Goldschmidt with his 5th homer.
Well, Spire pitched last night, got out of Brian Wu's jam there in the 7th, 2/3, walked 1, struck out 2.
This is Reyes in the 9-hole, hitting in place of Bibas. So you imagine we'll see Oswald Peraza perhaps come and take the field in the bottom of the 7th. Escara now out of the game as well, so Austin Wells will likely get behind the plate. Strikes Reyes out.
Well, first pitch fastball, 94 miles an hour. Goldschmidt ambushed him for his 5th home run of the year to tie the game.
Back to the top of the lineup with Grisham. Does it sting any more for a pitcher when the hitter jumps on you like that first pitch?
And ambushes you? You better make a better pitch, but Goldschmidt still has some pop.
His 2nd career pinch hit home run. I believe that first one came in his rookie year with Arizona in 2011. Grisham strikes out, 2 away. Paul Goldschmidt. He skipped AAA entirely before his first call-up to the big leagues, and that was his rookie season, 2011. He's a 23-year-old. Here's Rice. And it's taken all the way by Dylan Moore. Side retired, but not before. First pitch ambush by Paul Goldschmidt ties it up as we get up and stretch.
Chris here and Jack Curry back here with this Ford update in our Yes Network studios. Another pitching duel is broken out in Seattle.
Yeah, another close game, and the Yankee offense showing signs of awakening in the last couple of innings. We always hear Aaron Boone talk about the players he has on his bench and when he's going to shoot them. Well, he shot Goldschmidt in that last inning. The pinch hit homer ties it up. Now it's a bullpen battle, Chris, and it'll be intriguing to see which relievers are in play for Boone.
All right, Jack, we'll talk all about it in the post-game show, but for now, we send things back out to Shaq, Nelly, and Meredith.
Chris, Jack, thanks so much. Let's take a look at the game summary. 2 runs on 7 hits and an error for the Yankees. Mariners held to just 4 hits here this afternoon. Will Warren, career-high 9 strikeouts over 5 innings. And the Yankees able to tie it up thanks to Paul Goldschmidt's pinch hit home run against the Mariner bullpen. Ian Hamilton going back to work. And Austin Wells in the game behind the plate. Rivas, the Mariners shortstop today. J.P. Crawford, a late scratch about an hour before first pitch. Here you see Wells. Goldschmidt over at first base now. He stays in the game. Orlando Cruz warming up. Also Oswald Peraza at third base. So, Jeff, this is another game that's going to be a battle of the bullpens.
Right, a lot of guys are going to be asked to throw multiple days in a row. Cruz threw an inning yesterday in last night's ball game.
Hamilton's pitch, swing and a miss. There, strike three. Got him on the slider.
Yeah, that Schlambio, the slider slash changeup grip, and down and in.
Back to the top of the lineup, Mastroboni. Be righty on lefty. Joe's bunt. So Goldschmidt stays in the game after pinch hitting in the 8th spot at first base. Peraza replaces Reyes in the 9th spot. And Wells is in there in Rice's spot. Rice started the game at first base. Whacked foul. After this series, the Mariners are facing the Padres. Yankees obviously have a day off tomorrow, and they will have the Subway Series start on Friday. But the Mariners are traveling to San Diego, and it's the first official installment, Jeff, as you see the Yankee defense, of something called the Vetter Cup. They're dubbing it the Vetter Cup. And it's something that these two teams are going to apparently play annually. And the winner of the series is going to take home this Vetter Cup trophy, which is a guitar provided by Eddie Vedder.
Grew up in San Diego, obviously Pearl Jam from Seattle. They share a spring training complex in Peoria, Arizona, the Padres and the Mariners. Eddie Vedder used to come and take batting practice quite a bit when he was up in Seattle. He's a big Cub fan as well. See him in the stands. He needs to pick just one team. I mean, you like everyone.
I think he was in the Cubs clubhouse when they won the World Series. No, Bill Murray was.
He might have. I've met him a few times, Eddie Vedder, out here in Seattle. I also met him when he was at the World Series with Chicago that year that they won.
As part of the series, the Mariners and the Padres, they're both going to be making annual donations to the EB Research Partnership for charity. As Hamilton gets another strikeout, 2 away. Well, this year marks Yogi Berra's 100th birthday, and the Yankees have a special giveaway to help commemorate it. Friday, June 6th, the first 18,000 guests will receive a special Yogi Berra U.S. Navy bobblehead that recognizes his military service, courtesy of State Farm. Tickets are going fast, so get your tickets today at Yankees.com. Jorge Polanco hitting. These would be a big 3 outs recorded by Hamilton if Aaron Boone doesn't have to go to Cruz in the inning. High drive, center field and deep. Grisham at the warning track, squares it up and puts it away as Polanco flies out to center. Mariners done in order against Ian Hamilton. We're going to the 8th, tied at 2. The upcoming schedule brought to you by your local Tri-State Buick dealers. Off day tomorrow. And 3 in the Bronx this weekend against the Mets. Another off day on Monday. The homestand continues with the Texas Rangers. Aaron Boone's brother Brett, Rangers' new hitting instructor, he comes to the Bronx. Then it's back out on the road. Another West Coast trip. And this one is a real long one through Denver. And then just a really long time in Southern California. Angels and Dodgers, back-to-back series. Here's Judge in a 2-2 game against the righty Carlos Vargas, who we saw last night. Judge is average at .409, singled in the first. Now reach base safely in all 22 road games this season. 1-1. Swing and a drive. Deep left field. Oh, he wasn't going home with that one. Aaron Judge gives the Yankees the lead in the 8th with a solo home run to left center. It's 3-2 Yankees. Home run in his career here at T-Mobile Park. He does damage in Seattle, and he does so right here in the 8th inning.
Well, Randy Arozarena didn't even move in left field.
.118 miles off the bat, Jeff.
444 feet.
The roof is on, but the air show continues for Aaron Judge in Seattle. Here's Cody Bellinger. Just think about the swings that Judge has put on in this park over the years. I mean, no doubters deep into the second deck, over the second deck, and then missiles like that.
Well, he doesn't have a problem seeing the ball here at T-Mobile. And this was a hanging slider. And you see Arozarena just watches. That was crushed.
Back at the top of the leaderboard all alone. Here's Volpe. Pops this up. Foul territory. Oh, run out of room.
Slider, knee high and in.
.15 home runs for Aaron Judge through 44 games. 0-2.
You know, you never see Aaron Judge bat flip. He doesn't watch it, doesn't stand at the plate. Hits him, jogs around.
And he knows that they are on their way out. Volpe strikes out, 2 away. So we'll see the Yankee bullpen work with a lead here. Try and get the final 6 outs and a series victory. The lineup would love to add more, that's for sure. That home run was the hardest hit ball by Aaron Judge this season as well.
118. Wow.
Dominguez doubled his last time up. He's 1 for 3. Drove in Anthony Volpe. It's 2-2. And a lot of hitters try to get used to the role of DHing on the days where they are serving as the DH, not in their element, out in the field, batting, doing the regular thing, obviously. That's not the case with Aaron Judge. Still finds a way to stay locked in at the elite level. Two. Comebacker. And Vargas retires Dominguez in the Yankees. But Aaron Judge batting here in Seattle. Always putting on the air show. Strapped a rocket to that bad boy. And he's giving the Yankees a 3-2 lead. There you see the Honda scoreboard. 3-2 Yankees. A run in each of the last 3 innings. Fernando Cruz now pitching with a 1-run lead. And Julio Rodriguez stays back on the first pitch. Those 34 Ks, the most among the major league relievers.
Oh, he had 3 of them in an inning in last night's game. Struck out the side in the 6th.
Rodriguez with a 2-run double back in the 3rd inning. One and 2. You wonder just the way that the Yankees have done this afternoon against this Mariner offense. If that error doesn't occur, are they off the board completely, the Mariners? Could always play that game, but bottom line, this has been a really terrific day of pitching for the Yankees, started by Will Warren and leading up to this point. See if they can finish the job. Cruz threw 17 pitches last night. Foul territory, and Wells will run out of room. The guy with strikeout stuff, though, tasked with trying to get through the middle of this lineup and the heavy hitters.
He's got the good split going. 2-0. See if he can bounce one here. He had a really good split last night. There you see he gets that grip right away.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Rodriguez. And he just misses below the zone.
Well, that pitch was called earlier in the game. 95. Wells trying to help him out.
It was called last night as well. 3-2. Rolled on the ground. Peraza. And there's one away. Hey, tomorrow catch a Yankees minor league doubleheader on Yes as the Bombers' top prospect, George Lombard Jr. and the Somerset Patriots take on the Portland Sea Dogs. Game 1 coverage starts at 4 o'clock. Then Game 2 follows at 6:30 on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Cal Raleigh singled in the 6th. Stole a base as well, was stranded there. 3-2 Yanks, bottom of the 8th inning. Fools him with strike 1. Raleigh's now reached base in 17 straight. 0-2 to Cal Raleigh. Cruz is working on back-to-back days. Both Devin Williams and Luke Weaver worked last night as well. Raleigh stayed back. So it's 2-2.
Cruz will vary his grip on that splitter, and it depends on which way he wants it to go. He'll put that first finger on a seam or alongside a seam when he splits his fingers to get it to go down and away from a lefty, and then the opposite way he'll put that middle finger on a seam to go down and in on a lefty.
Raleigh puts a charge into it, into deep right. It goes over the head of Bellinger. Raleigh will stay put at first base as Bellinger played the carom nicely. A one-out single for Cal Raleigh. And the Mariners have the tying runner aboard.
Well, that split stayed up. And luckily, Raleigh got on top of it instead of underneath it. Nice job by Bellinger. He's got a good arm out there in right.
Second hit of the day for Cal Raleigh. So the tying run aboard. Here's Randy Arozarena. Cruz starts him off with a first pitch strike. Three-2 Yankees, bottom of the eighth. 0-2. There's a big hole on the right side of the infield with Goldschmidt holding on. Raleigh at first. (0-2). Stayed back.
Here you just want to stay away from inside. You want to go away either with that fastball or bounce that split.
Tried to bounce it. It's now 2-2. Yankees need 5 more outs to get out of Seattle with the victory here in the series win. 2-2. The pitch. It hit him. Arozarena plunked for the second time today. And now the tying runs in scoring position.
Well, Cruz tried to come inside. Did it get off that elbow guard? No, just above it, right in the bicep.
So Arozarena represents the go-ahead run. It'll be a mound visit for the Yankees.
You just want to settle Cruz down here. 17 pitches through 3 hitters. He really exerts himself with that split. Fastball got away from him. Again, you got to be careful. First pitch fastball. If you want to throw that pitch, make sure it's down and away.
Dylan Moore, Seattle's first baseman, with a chance to make an impact late in this game. 32-year-old, longtime utility player for the Mariners. Runners at first and second with 1 away. And a roller over to short. Volpe, there's one. Over to first. It's in time. A double play to end the inning. Fernando Cruz Matthews gets out of it with a 6-4-3 double play. 3-2 Yanks in Seattle. All right, Nelly, time to name that Yankee. A 9 rating. A tough one for me. I mean,
I don't know either. A couple stints.
Larry Milbourne.
Wow. I would have never guessed.
Larry Milbourne, 2 stints with the Yankees, played for the Mariners as well. Shortstop in the 1981 pennant-winning team. You see him in action at Dodger Stadium. Larry Milbourne. 11 big league seasons. I'm going to be honest. I've never heard of Larry Milbourne. He's
I've heard
great
of him.
player. Look,
yes.
I'm under 40, so this was a tough one for me. Attended the same high school as Mike Trout, down in South Jersey. DJ LeMahieu fouls off the first pitch he sees from the righty Colin Snyder. You have to be humbled every now and then, Jeff. I had no idea.
That was a 9.
Yeah.
I wasn't getting it.
Yankees holding on to this 3-2 lead. Aaron Judge with the go-ahead blast in the 8th inning. Yankees did a nice job getting out of the bottom of the 8th with 2 on. Slow rolling double play converted by Anthony Volpe and DJ LeMahieu. This is Snyder's first appearance in the series. LeMahieu punches it into center field. It's a base hit. First of the season for LeMahieu. Leadoff single to start the 9th. And that has to feel really good for DJ LeMahieu.
Well, he got a fastball upstairs. Pulled his hands in. Drove it right back up the middle. Snyder, a lot of sliders. Fastball about 93, 94.
First hit in his first start. And here's Goldschmidt. Tied it up with a pinch hit home run in the 7th. He sends this one deep down in the right field line to Veras. He'll make the catch. Back to first goes LeMahieu. Goldschmidt retired, and Austin Wells hitting in the 9-hole. Took over for J.C. Escarra in the catcher's spot. He hits here, first time up today. That means Peraza is in the 2-hole for Ben Rice. This is low.
Like Luke Weaver will have the 9th after 2 innings last night. Come in and try to get the save, lock it down.
He threw 2 innings, but needed only 21 pitches. Making sure each shoe is double knotted.
Tie him tight.
Face the bottom 3rd of the Seattle lineup. Still 2-2. And time is called by Wells. A win would give the Yankees a 14-2 series record here at T-Mobile Park since 2010. They have come in and run this joint against the Mariners. 35-15 overall record as Wells strikes out 2 away.
Well, fastball upstairs. Wells just gets underneath it after a few sliders and a couple cutters in. He goes with the four-seamer up.
Grisham hitless in 3 at-bats. Had a walk back in the 5th. He was the first batter of the game. Had a home run taken away by Julio Rodriguez off Luis Castillo. Three-2 Yankees. 2 outs, top of the 9th. Runner at first. And it's now 1-2. Trent Grisham has absolutely excelled at the top of the Yankee lineup this season. And who could have expected that coming out of spring training based on last year? 1-2 is low. Already with 12 home runs. Only a select few are slugging better than that man right there.
5 home runs away from tying his career high of 17. A couple years ago when he was with the Padres.
Good eye there. It's 3-2. LeMahieu at first with 2 outs. He'll go. And the pitch on the outside corner for strike 3. Well, the Yankees are going to try and protect a 1-run lead as Luke Weaver comes in. Yankees baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by the Chili's 3 for Me, the best $10.99 you can eat. By Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. And by Hyundai. Test drive a new Hyundai today, only at your local Hyundai dealer. Raul's still cool. Future Hall of Famer. About to be inducted this summer. 74 days away. He and CC Sabathia will be enshrined into Cooperstown. Luke Weaver coming on for the save in a 1-run ball game. 3-2. Yanks up, bottom of the 9th. Only 1 run allowed this season for Luke Weaver.
He had 3 for 4 in save situations. 19 strikeouts in those 19 innings. 2 innings in last night's game.
Looks sharp doing it. Taveras leads it off. Leody Taveras, 2 for 7 lifetime off Weaver. Swings through the changeup. Taveras reached on an error in the 3rd inning. And that came back to bite the Yankees because 2 runs were plated thanks to Julio Rodriguez's 2-run double. Mariners had a 2-0 lead. Yankees picked up a run in the 6th. A pinch hit solo home run by Paul Goldschmidt in the 7th to tie it up, and then a go-ahead blast by Judge in the 8th. No balls, 2 strikes. And it's low. And the Yankees put down the Mariners for 3 more outs. There's strike 3. Taveras down, looking, 1 away. Fans after the final out get highlights, analysis, clubhouse interviews, and hear from the manager. Plus, a look ahead to this weekend's Subway Series. That's all coming up on the W.B. Mason Yankees postgame. Here's Ben Williamson. One-run games have not been kind to the Yankees this season. They're 4-9 in one-run contests. A win here would start to tilt the scale back toward 500. 0-1.
A good heater upstairs. He just has really good control. That was a good fastball that he struck out Taveras on. 96. Go right back upstairs with that fastball if you want.
Oh, and 2 to the rookie Williamson. Goes down with the changeup. Weaver trying to earn the save here in Seattle. 1-2. Got him to go. Strike 3. 2 strikeouts for Luke Weaver. And now the Yankees an out away from a series win.
Yeah, I think he could have done that the previous pitch instead of going with that changeup down. Williamson wasn't catching up on that heater up.
So the Mariners down to their final out, and it'll be a pinch hitter. It'll be the veteran Mitch Garver. Here you see what he's been able to do in 26 games this season. Garver started last night, 34 years of age, 9th big league season. Weaver ready to go. 2 late solo home runs brought the Yankees back in this game. A pinch hit game-tying homer by Goldschmidt in the 7th, and a go-ahead solo shot by Judge in the 8th. One and 1 to count. Garver 0 for 2 lifetime against Weaver with a strikeout. 1-1. Popped him up. It's foul and out of play. And now Seattle down to its final strike. Weaver a strike away. 1-2. Chopped foul.
What a job Luke Weaver's done these last couple years, especially late in the ball game. See the look in his eyes. No fear right now.
In full control. Again at 1-2. It foul right up to the broadcast level. Two out, nobody on. Weaver a strike away. And he got him. Swing and a miss. Ball game. Yankees win it 3-2. They win the rubber game. They take their third straight series and finish the West Coast trip at 4-2.
Another well-pitched game last night as well, and the Yankees came up short, but not today. When you have that kind of power that the Yankees do up and down that lineup, they can erase some deficits, gets you back right in the game. Big home runs by Goldschmidt and Judge. How about the Yankee staff today? 15 strikeouts combined. Outstanding job. Luke Weaver, his 4th save of the year.
Making it look real easy in the 9th inning as Luke Weaver retires the side in order. He strikes them all out. Yankees win it 3-2. We'll be back in a moment to wrap it up from T-Mobile Park. Time now to take a look at the Cadillac drives of the game.
Well, Paul Goldschmidt pitch hitting number 5 on the air. This is in the 7th inning. That'll tie the game at 2. And then in the 8th, Aaron Judge, number 15, for the lead 444 feet later.
Number 15 on the season for Aaron Judge gives the Yankees the lead that they would not relinquish. 3-2 the final. Andy Hamilton gets the win. Vargas the loss. And Luke Weaver mows him down in order for his 4th save of the season. The Yankees with a 3rd straight series win as they roll into the Subway Series. Coming up on the Yes Network, stay tuned for the W.B. Mason postgame show with Chris Sheeran and Jack Curry. Special thanks to producer Troy Benjamin, director Dan Barr, Mike Webb, and our executive producer is producer Jared Haynes Boschnack. Join us again Friday as the Yankees host the Mets to kick off the Subway Series in the Bronx. Coverage begins at 5:30 on Yes, with first pitch coming up shortly after 7 o'clock. Once again, the final score, the Yankees 3, the Mariners 2. For Jeff Nelson and Meredith Marakovitz, I'm Justin Shackle. Now, let's go to Chris Sheeran and Jack Curry, who are standing by with the postgame show.
Back inside our Yes Network studios on the W.B. Mason post-game show. And Jack, after a quick turnaround and a tough loss last night in Seattle, the Yankees face a formidable foe in Luis Castillo today. They get the series victory, and that leads us to your Hyundai opening comment.
Yeah, and once again, Aaron Judge is right at the forefront. His 8th inning home run off Vargas propels the Yankees ahead by a run and helps them get the win. So give Judge the win, give him the save. At this point, just give him the MVP, even though it's only May. But he had a supporting cast that also helped out. Goldschmidt with a game-tying pitch hit home run, coming off the bench cold to do that. And Volpe and Dominguez combined for a couple of back-to-back doubles that finally got the Yankee offense going to make sure that all that pitching that you talked about, Chris, didn't go to waste. The Yankees win the series. They go 4-2 on the West Coast. They head home and get ready for the Mets. But again, Judge was in the middle of all this.
Yeah, and so was Paul Goldschmidt. He got the day off today until later in the game, Jack. Then he gets a pinch hit opportunity, and he starts our Montefiore turning points of the game, brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Here's Goldie.
Yeah, he steps up in this situation against Spire, a very solid lefty reliever, and Goldschmidt just jumps him. First pitch fastball, he's all over it. Spire's trying to get ahead in the count. Goldschmidt says, not so fast. 5th homer of the season, 2nd career pinch hit homer, makes it 2-2.
And then Aaron Judge in the top of the 8th drives a slider to left center field for the homer here. His 15th homer of the season. He now leads MLB all by himself with those 15 dingers. We take a look at the stars of the game. Will Warren, another solid outing out of Will. 5 innings pitched, just 3 hits, 2 runs, no earned, by the way. 9 strikeouts. He had 9 of the 15 Yankee staff strikeouts. We saw the Paul Goldschmidt pinch hit game-tying solo homer and Judge's go-ahead homer as well. And moments after the game, our Meredith Marakovitz caught up with the captain.
Aaron, another Another solid afternoon for Yankees pitching. A combined 15 strikeouts for the group collectively. Just what did you think about the way they were throwing this afternoon?
Oh, incredible. Just starting with Will, going out there, I think he had about 9 strikeouts himself. Just another impressive start for him. If we were able to get a couple of runs earlier for him, maybe it's a little different for him, but it's impressive. I feel like every single start he keeps getting a little bit better, getting more comfortable out there, and then anytime you hand it off to his bullpen, good things are going to happen.
Mariners get on the board first, but you guys chip away. Dominguez drives one in there in that 6th inning, and then Paul Goldschmidt makes his presence known immediately. In watching him for a quarter of the season now, just what impresses you about his approach at the plate?
Just so consistent. Doesn't matter the situation, if he's pinch hitting, if he's playing all 9 and comes up with a big hit late in the game. This guy's a professional, through and through. He's a guy that I love talking through at bats with. He's been around the game so long, had so much success. So, just having that guy in the middle of your lineup, or just having a guy like that you can pull off the bench, spark an offense, it's pretty impressive. But like you said, I think what really helped us out and really got us going was that Dominguez at bat. Getting that double to kind of score Volpe and get things rolling, that was huge for us.
You absolutely annihilated the baseball there in that 8th inning. What is it about T-Mobile Park? I mean, you seem to hit well everywhere, but here 11 home runs, most home runs in a ballpark that's not an American League East park.
Yeah, I like coming on the West Coast. It's fun out here. They always have a great crowd. They're always pretty rowdy. Yankee fans always show up in numbers, so you got to put a show on for the fans.
Guys have an off day tomorrow, and then the Mets are in town. How rowdy do you think that place is going to be for the Subway Series, all things considered?
Oh, it's going to be fun. Two best teams in baseball, going after it. It's going to be an exciting weekend, that's for sure.
Aaron, appreciate the time. Enjoy the off day.
Thank you.
Send it back to you.
Meredith, Aaron, thank you very much. As we take a look at the long list of MLB ranks, you don't have to do a lot of work here. It's first in everything, Jack. As you said, it's only May, but give him the MVP. And by the way, that home run, the hardest hit ball of the season, 118 miles an hour off the bat.
Yeah, traveled 444 feet, and he was 5 for 11 in this series with 3 walks. But I think even Aaron Judge would admit the Mariners pitched him tough. The Mariners threw a lot of sweepers and a lot of sliders. They got him to chase more than he has maybe in any series all season long. And Chris, in the at-bat before the home run, granted, it was a different pitcher. It was Castillo on the mound. He struck out on a slider. He chased a slider and ended up missing it. What does he do in the subsequent at-bat against Vargas? He gets a slider that's right over the middle of the plate. He destroys it. Judge has been doing it all season long for the Yankees. I know it's only May. I'm joking around about give him the MVP right now, but is there anyone who believes that Judge is going to slow down and suddenly the rest of the season he is not going to put up MVP-type numbers? He is playing at a level that is so far and above everyone else in baseball right now.
Obviously, you always need offense if you're going to win baseball games, but you're only as strong as your starting pitching, and we were both looking forward to see what Will Warren would do today, coming off of his solid outing in Sacramento. And Jack, he was good again after going into the 8th inning against the A's. Bottom 2 gets Cal Raleigh swinging on the 3-2 curveball. He's been such a hard out all season for opposing pitching. Full count to a Rosarena next, frees him on the outside sinker, and then Rowdy Tellez steps in, chases the curveball below the zone for strike 3, struck out the side in the 2nd.
Yeah, bottom of the 3rd, bases loaded. First pitch fastball after a walk, and Rodriguez goes down the line with it. It's in fair territory, kicks off the wall. 2-run double. Both runs were unearned because there was a throwing error in the inning. That gave the Mariners a 2-0 lead. Bottom of the 4th, the stuff was still true for Warren. He gets Tellez right there on a fastball. Tavares is next. The curveball was terrific. He gets a swing and miss there. Bottom of the 5th, he gets Rivas looking at the changeup. The final line, 9 Ks across those 5 innings. As we mentioned, no earned runs. He only walked 1. The evolution of a young pitcher, Warren continues to get better and better.
That was our pitching decisions presented by Sage as we take a look at his last 2 outings. He gets the A's and the Mariners. And Jack, I want to throw this out at you. You've covered baseball for a while now. You've talked to so many great pitchers, including a guy you wrote a book with, and that's David Cone. You know, he was the last pitcher in this series. How much could he learn watching these other guys throw to the Mariners over those first 2 games?
A lot. You look for tendencies. You look for what hitters are trying to do against your teammates. Now, every pitcher is different, and for instance, Warren is a righty and Max Fried is a lefty, and they have different arsenals, but you can still see what hitters are trying to do, and that's your job as a pitcher, to follow what's going on in the game right before you're about to pitch, because you might pick up a crumb of information, Chris, that is going to help you going forward. In this day and age, obviously, pitching coach, pitching gurus, the catchers, they're all watching closely as well. But I think we're seeing Warren get better with each start, and we're also seeing confidence. And he should have confidence. When you have the kind of stuff that he has and the kind of swing and miss stuff that he has, he should go out on the mound with confidence.
Point of order in the pregame show that we talked about was the bullpen usage last night and into today. And we were kind of wondering, is he going to use Fernando Cruz? Is Aaron Boone going to use Luke Weaver? And he did indeed, Jack, to get the win, and they were sparkling in the late inning.
Yeah, I said on the pregame I thought that Boone would manage the bullpen aggressively, and by that I meant that if he had a lead or the game was close and he had a chance to seize it, you've got to go to your high-leverage guys, that being, for me, Cruz and Weaver at the end of the game. Yes, they both pitched yesterday, but tomorrow's an off day, and they weren't overly taxed yesterday. Cruz threw 17 pitches, Weaver threw 21. Cruz got out of the 8th inning with a double play. That was key for him. I thought his splitter, Chris, which was been elite all season long, I'm not sure he had his greatest splitter today, but he had enough to get through that 8th. And then how about what Weaver did in the 9th inning? 1, 2, 3, all 3 Ks. Continues to delight the Yankees with his ability to come in and just shut teams down in the 9th.
It might not have been his best, but that trap door still falls out of that splitter. We're going to step aside, take a break here on the W.B. Mason postgame show. Jack and I have much more to do, including hearing from the manager, Aaron Boone. That's coming up next right here on Yes, and streaming on the Gotham Sports app.
The Yankees postgame show on Yes is presented by W.B. Mason. Get fast free delivery of food service products you need at prices you'll love. Request your free catalog today at WBMason.com. Postgame show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Hyundai dealers. There's never been a better time to test drive that Hyundai you've always wanted. Visit HyundaiUSA.com today.
Stick around after the postgame as Gracie Cashman sits down with Anthony Volpe for an entertaining look at the numbers that have defined his career. Watch the season premiere of The Story of My Number, presented by the New York Lottery. Coming up after the postgame here on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Now it's time for the optimum player of the game, and Jack, it's Aaron Judge.
Yeah, we've talked about who Judge has been for the Yankees all season. He's been all world, and it continues again. Arozarena, the left fielder, didn't even move. That slider is in a place where Judge can hammer it almost 450 feet. As you mentioned, the hardest hit ball by him all season long, almost 118 miles per hour, and Judge just continues to dazzle.
With the win, Jack, the Yankees moved to 14-2 in series at T-Mobile Park since 2010, with an overall record during that stretch of 35-16. It's time now for the manager's report, brought to you by Toyota. Let's get the thoughts of Aaron Boone. Meredith Marakovitz tees up the first question.
Aaron, just what did you think of the overall effort of your pitching staff this afternoon?
Yeah, really good. You know, starting with Will, thought his stuff was really good. You know, they took a lot of good at bats, you know, but, you know, he was able to obviously punch out a lot of guys. He was getting ahead really well. A lot deeper counts, though. You know, it took him a while to put some guys away at different times, so they made him work. But I thought stuff-wise, overall, really good, and, you know, put us in position to go win a game.
You mentioned punching guys out, 9 strikeouts for him. What was it about his stuff that allowed him to get so much swing and miss?
Everything. I thought he was spinning it really well, and the fastball was again good. But I think, getting ahead routinely set him up. Now he had a lot of 0-2s to 3-2s and then finishing them off, which allowed, kept him from going real deep in the game. Especially, we didn't have a ton. We're staying away from a few guys down there today, but then the bullpen coming in and Matzik holding the line. I thought Hammy threw the ball really well for back-to-back times, him throwing the ball well, which was encouraging, and to get us the ball there to Cruz, and then Weave was lights out at the end. So good job by them holding them down and letting us get back in it.
Dominguez got you started there in that 6th inning. Then you went to Paul Goldschmidt as a pinch hitter. How much of a luxury was it to have that guy on the bench and ready to go in that situation?
Yeah, I mean, that is one of the things, like on a day that I give Goldie, especially with all our lefties, at any point in that lineup, he's always ready too. I think he almost relishes a little bit on those days, and so you can get him into a good matchup, and he goes up there and first pitch doesn't miss it. So that's with kind of the rotation of guys, it does give you a kind of weapon over there sitting every day.
It seems like every day Aaron Judge does something, but 118 off the bat, 444 feet. Does that just make you kind of say, wow?
Yeah, that was heavy. That ball was hit really heavy. I told him that's the ball I hit that one hops to the wall, and his just kind of keeps ascending. That ball was covered. A little Big G-ish.
How would you describe what Paul Goldschmidt's given to your offense this season?
I mean, shoot, she hitting 350, whatever. It's just quality at bats every day. It's elevating our hitting room and culture. He's killed lefties, obviously, but he's just a real polished hitter that knows how to play the game.
Judge, it almost looked human that at bat before when he chased the slider. To see him come back with that one.
Yeah, they pitched him tough. We didn't get much off of Castillo. I thought we hit a lot of balls well. I mean, obviously Julio robs Grisham, first batter of the game, and I thought we hit a lot of balls on the screws. Couldn't get that big hit to really break the dam a little bit, and he had the strikeout ball going a little bit when we did have some opportunities with runners in scoring position. But yeah, you usually don't see Judgy leave that low, but they pitched him tough throughout the game, but he added all up, and he rides out a single his first at bat and a game-winning homer in his last at bat.
Was there any hesitation going to Weaver after throwing 2 innings last night, or because the pitch count was relatively low last night, it wasn't a concern?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of came in here today thinking, Weave, Devin, Hill, we're kind of, let's see what we have. Let's see. And felt like with Weave, he's kind of been used the least and was really efficient. Like normally I'd be very reluctant on a full 2 innings, but because he was pretty pitch efficient, I wasn't going to bring him into a tie game even, so it was save only. That's kind of how we went into this game with it, and it was good to see him really throw the ball well.
He got up to 96.5 tonight, maybe. Were you expecting to see that?
Yeah, I think over time, the last 2 nights, for as good as he's been to start the season, I think these 2 outings are as good as he's been. I mean, it's, really efficient, life, good secondary, but it's back-to-back 2 pretty dominant outings by him.
Darren, what did you say on the play at first base in the 3rd inning? It looked like...
Yeah, just Benny, it's kind of that the forever predicament for a first baseman. How far do you go? Do you let it go? DJ's obviously, though, in position to make that play. So, and then he just that enough of a hesitation to where he was struggling to get back to the bag. So, one of those that experience helps you. But every now and then you even see an experienced first baseman get caught up where you start at it and you don't want it to go through the hole. But just one of those that hopefully over time you handle well.
First, where do you feel Bellinger's at?
Good. I think he's swinging the bat well. Last night back-to-back nights where he's gotten doubles. I feel like the last 2 days, too, he's just missed a handful of pitches, too, where I feel like he's got the right swing off, maybe just under it, some, deep fly balls or fly balls to the outfield where I feel like he's had the right swing. And so I feel like he's in a good spot.
First time DJ was out there this season for a full 9. Just what was your takeaway?
Big double play. That with Moore getting down the line, that's not an easy turn, not a hard hit ball there. I thought it was a great job by Volpe closing the gap on it, getting to the ball quickly and getting it to DJ, and DJ turned it over really nice. And then, at the plate, a walk, a base hit. So, good to see him on twice and doing what he does on defense too. So good to get him back in there and playing a big part in the win.
And Jack, let's talk about Paul Goldschmidt really quick. Just a steady veteran presence, and you can't say enough about what he's meant to this team.
And Boone just talked about some of his attributes, and one of the things he said, Chris, was he destroys lefties. Well, we should put a little perspective on that. Against lefties this year, 20 for 35. That's a .571 batting average with 4 home runs. And one of the things the Yankees looked at when they signed Goldschmidt for this season was, even in what was a down year for him last year, he still had an OPS of over 800 against left-handed pitching, and he performed better in the second half. Goldschmidt said when he joined the Yankees, he was letting pitchers dictate too many at-bats last year. Suddenly he would look up, it was 0-2, 1-2. I know this is only one example and one at-bat. What did he do in today's situation coming off the bench? He wasn't going to let Spire get to 0-2 or 1-2. He jumped on that first pitch. I think that's a smart, experienced hitter, knowing that a reliever in that spot, one-run game, doesn't want to walk you, wants to get ahead in the count. If I see a fastball, I'm going to jump on it, and that's what Goldschmidt did.
Goldschmidt tied it up with a home run, a solo shot at 2. He's at 346 for the season. That's 3rd in the AL. And then Aaron Judge with the death blow. He's at 412. That's 1st, as we all know. We're going to step aside, take a break here on the postgame show. When we come back, we'll revisit both of those home runs and more with full game highlights. That's next, right here on Yes. Post-game show on Yes is brought to you in part by Audi, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Yankees. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer today. The Yankees post-game show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Kia dealers. Visit Kia.com to discover movement that inspires. The Gotham Sports app is your new home for streaming live Yankees games and so much more. And it's free with an eligible TV provider subscription. Download the Gotham Sports app now or visit GothamSports.com to get streaming. Highlights presented now by your local Ford stores. And from the files of You Can't Make This Up, Trent Grisham on Monday hits a homer to center field. Now, Julio Rodriguez attempts to catch the ball, but the ball bounces off his glove off the top of the wall and over the wall for the home run, as you take another look here. And then that leads to top of the first today, Jack.
Yeah, that's soul-crushing for Rodriguez, who fancies himself as an elite defensive player. So Grisham hits this fastball to center field, and look at how smooth Rodriguez is on this play. The way that he gets back to the wall, the way that he measures his jump, and then the way that he celebrates, it makes everybody wait a little second before he reveals that, yes, that baseball is in his glove. He robs Grisham of a home run.
And we move on to the bottom of the 3rd as he is pumped up there. Tied at 0-0. Leody Taveras hits to the right side. DJ LeMahieu fields it, has a throwing error to Will Warren. Taveras reaches and collides with the first baseman, Ben Rice, there. He would stay down for a little bit, but remain in the game, and he was fine.
Later in the inning, Chris, the bases are loaded. There has just been a walk issued by Warren. He comes in first pitch fastball throwing, and Rodriguez takes that sinker down the right field line. It's fair. It hits off the wall that's jutting out there. It's a 2-run double, ends up 2-zip.
Bottom of the 5th, Warren strikes out Leo Rivas on a changeup for the 9th of the game, a new career high for Warren.
Volpe's on second after a double against Castillo, and a nice job by Dominguez right here, taking that slider into right field for a double. Volpe is going to score. It's the one time the Yankees dented Castillo. They trailed 2-1.
Top of the 7th, Paul Goldschmidt pinch hitting for J.C. Escarra. He homers on a fly ball to left, his 5th of the season, and the Yankees tie the ball game at 2 apiece. A huge knock for Goldschmidt there. Now our memorable moments presented by Prevagen.
We're going to go to the 8th. It's Judge against Vargas. Vargas is going to start him out with a sinker, and that's a nice pitch. He gets it on the inside corner. After that, he's going to go low with a cutter. 3rd pitch of the at-bat, he throws a slider, and Chris, that one is not coming back. 444 feet, 118 miles per hour off the bat. Number 15 for Judge. He leads the majors 3-2 Yanks.
Bottom 8, Fernando Cruz on the mound. Dylan Moore at the plate, 2 on, 1 out, grounds into a 6-4-3 inning-ending double play. Pitcher's best friend. Cruz gets out of a pickle there.
Weaver on for the 9th. He's already got 2 strikeouts. Pinch hitter Mitch Garver is at the plate. 4-seam fastball. He can't catch up with it. Yankees win 3-2 in a game that was played in a tidy 2 hours and 43 minutes.
We take a look now at the game summary. See Warren with those 4 hits over 5 innings. And after that error, he only threw 6 more pitches in that inning. Warren was very effective, though. Both of those runs unearned, and those 9 strikeouts, 15 overall for the Yankees as a staff. Coming up, we're going to hear from the man who tied things up in this one. Paul Goldschmidt meets the media. That's next, right here on Yes, and streaming on the Gotham Sports app. Yankees post-game show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Learn more at genesis.com. One of the most highly anticipated Subway series in years pulls into the Bronx this weekend, and it all starts on Yes. Special extended pregame coverage begins Friday at 5:30 with first pitch scheduled for shortly after 7 on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. All Access BP with Meredith Marakovitz will kick off the night. Welcome back inside our Yes Network studios to the WB Mason postgame show alongside Jack Curry. I'm Chris Sheeran. The Yankees win the rubber match against the Mariners 3-2, and it was because of a couple of home runs. And the first one was a pinch hit home run by Paul Goldschmidt. The Yankees have 3 of those this season. Oswald Peraza had one March 29th against the Brewers. Yankees won that game 20-9. On May 7th, it was Trent Grisham. Yankees beat the Padres 4-3 in that one. And, of course, today a 3-2 final with Goldschmidt being part of the heroic duo with Aaron Judge. And moments ago, he provides our Genesis sounds of the game, meeting up with Meredith Marakovitz and the rest of the media.
Paul, you're generally in the starting lineup and don't pinch hit all that often. Just what's your approach when you're in that situation?
I think just be ready to go, and so most of that just is like throughout the day. It's not, I'm not thinking of it as like an off day, just being ready to come in, whether it's defense or hit, and just do my job and try to help us win. So, yeah, it's fun to do that today, and hopefully we'll get some other chances and can come through.
Do you find scenarios like that difficult, and how validating is it when you really have, one opportunity?
Well, it's such a hard job. I think, honestly, for most of my career, I was playing every day and knew I probably wasn't pitch hitting, but coming here, it's a little bit of a different role. So I've just tried to embrace that and was excited for something new. And so I think that makes it a little different, where you understand that you're going to be called on to come in and, play D or pinch hit, versus other times when I was maybe playing every single day. And when you got the off day, you were really trying to rest. So it's fun to, have those opportunities. And if you're pinch hitting or coming in on defense, it means we're probably in a winning situation or a tie game and have a chance to help us win.
Well, that home run tied it up, and then Aaron Judge obliterated a baseball an inning later. What are you thinking when you see him make contact like that?
It's just I don't even know. I mean, he just is doing so many amazing things, and they just are not making many mistakes to him. When they do, he makes them pay, and he's so great all over the field. Just, great on defense, great in this clubhouse, obviously a great hitter, and it's just fun, and just love playing with him.
Do you remember your last pinch hit home run?
I think I only had one other one. It was probably about my second week in the big leagues. So, yeah, I do. I think that I was, after I hit it, I was like, man, I don't think I've had one since then. So, yeah, it was kind of cool. And I probably hadn't had too many opportunities, especially the last, few years. But nice to come through.
You were hit late in last night's game. Was that a factor at all in leaving the game? And was it good to rest a few innings today?
No. I mean, my hand was fine. So I think when he made that decision about not playing today, I think that was made before, and so there was no effect, and then just so happened that he went for the pinch runner last night, and today Benny was at first.
You mentioned how your role's been a little different. I mean, you're starting every day pretty much, but you're getting a little bit more rest here and there. How do you feel about it? Do you think it's helped?
I don't really have any thoughts. I mean, whatever they need me to do, that's what I'm here to do. And, of course, we all love to play, but we have so many great players. So whatever opportunities I get, I'll just try to go in there and perform. And then when I'm not in there, just try to be there for the rest of the guys and get ready to pinch hit or come in on D or whatever they need me to do.
You pretty much killed lefties so far this season. What's that feeling like at the plate right now when you're going up there against a lefty?
I don't really think about it, so I just try to have a good at bat every time I'm in there and just be ready for the situation. Every pitcher's different, and I just try to have a good at bat, and fortunately, I was able to get one today.
Cal Raleigh had a quote a couple weeks ago about how nobody teaches how to pinch hit, and you were saying that it's not something you have a lot of experience with because you're playing so much. What is the key in those situations kind of ahead of time, I guess?
I don't know. I honestly, in spring training, I reached out to a few guys I played with and coaches that had some more experience pitch hitting, knowing that I was going to potentially have those opportunities. So, I mean, the main thing I just heard was just be ready for it. Don't get surprised. So whether that's just getting ready physically and mentally, like I said, just not thinking, oh, well, I'm not going to play today. It was, hey, yeah, I'm going to get an opportunity later in the game. So mentally doing that. And then, as the game's kind of building in the second, third, fourth, fifth, getting your body ready. So that was the main advice. And just try to do that and be ready to go.
Who are those guys?
I reached out to Matt Carpenter because I know at the end of his career he pinch hit a lot, and him and I are really good friends, and also a guy who had played every day, so just kind of knowing those two roles. And Turner Ward was our hitting coach, a guy I'm really close with, and I think most of his playing career he had a lot of pinch hits. So those are the two guys, and just kind of didn't want to go up there blind, knowing I didn't have much experience doing it, and just have some advice that could hopefully help me and help the team.
What do you think your first Subway Series is going to be like?
Oh, it'll be fun. So I know, it's different that I'm the new guy here and haven't done it, but any of those games with, more emotion or rivalry games, whatever you want to call them, big games are a lot of fun. That's what we all enjoy playing. So we'll take the off day, and then I think, it'll be a fun night.
Were you in the cage swinging a lot during the game? Getting some?
I wouldn't say a lot. I would just say what my normal routine would be, and I think that's the thing. That was some of the other advice, but don't overdo it. You can get in there and swing yourself into a slump or tire out. So I've just tried to take the same routine when I'm playing, but kind of back it up and do it in those first few innings versus doing it an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours before the game, and hopefully that gives me the best chance.
He has embraced his role since he signed with the team. As we mentioned, he's third in the American League with that .346 average on the season. Jack, he presents as calm, cool, and collected, and he's also that veteran that isn't afraid to reach out. As we heard him say, he might have been pinch hitter this year, so he reached out to Matt Carpenter's former teammate.
He's an elite professional baseball player who's still doing his homework, and his homework coming into this season was I might have to pinch hit with this team, something I really haven't had to do in my career. I'd better make sure I talk to some people who have done that and get some wisdom and some knowledge about that. And I think swinging at that first pitch sometimes as a pinch hitter is one of the things that you can do that is smart. And it's actually been a smart move for Goldschmidt in his career. When he swings at the first pitch in his career and has a result, Chris's OPS is over 1,100. Wow. So I absolutely believe he went up there with a plan to try and do some early damage. There's one more look at the swing, and when I listen to Goldschmidt talk, it's just a master at work, and it also reminds me of after the 22 season, he and Judge both won MVPs in their respective leagues. Before the 23 season started, they got together in a batting cage and just picked each other's brain. It was The Athletic who did a comprehensive story on that. And who would have known that from that day in the batting cage, they would be teammates and would be two of the main reasons the Yankees won today.
Absolutely, Jack. We're going to step aside, take another break here on the post-game show. We come back, we will hear from the 25-year-old righty who started this game for the Yankees, Will Warren. That's next, right here on Yes. Post-game show on Yes is brought to you in part by EEP Law, New York City's powerhouse firm for victims.
Anderson to right field. Watch it fly. Oh, an absolute tank. Vasquez powers one to deep left field, and the Twins take the lead. Ah, that is a crusher. It's going to be the 20th pitch for Jax. Is 1-2. Struck him out, changeup. It's not like the glare of the sun is in the hitter's eyes, but these low 90s fastballs are certainly playing like it.
You just never know. You never know what you're going to see.
Okay, that 93 didn't play like it is, but Trevor Larnach, long gone. High in the air to right field, Cedric Mullins at the wall, grand slam. Finally, the icebreaker.
Keep on doing it.
How about this? Deep right field has to Kirsten. Back-to-back home runs. There's a high fly ball here. Deep to right field. At the wall. Gone. A gut punch to the Orioles in the 8th.
That was our Liberty Mutual field coverage of some sights and sounds from the doubleheader in Baltimore today. Up next for the Yankees, it's a day off Thursday to rest up for the first Subway Series matchup of the season. The Mets are in the Bronx for 3 games, and we have supersized pregame coverage for the opener beginning Friday at 5:30 p.m. here on Yes. After the Mets, it's back out west to face the Rangers and Rockies, who are currently 7-35. Welcome back inside our Yes Network studios. And Jack, we heard Aaron Boone tell Meredith Marakovits about Will Warren and why he was so successful today. He was spinning it well, and he was also getting ahead of hitters. Let's get the thoughts of Will Warren now on his outing with Meredith and the rest of the media.
Will, 9 strikeouts today for you. What do you think it was about your stuff that allowed you to get so much swing and miss?
Yeah, just getting ahead early, attacking the zone, and just being confident in my stuff.
Your curveball to lefties in particular, how are you feeling about that pitch?
Good. We worked hard the last couple of weeks on that. I think it's come along nicely. I had good feel for it today. And just sticking with it.
Any adjustments you made to kind of get it where it was today or where you wanted it to be?
I think it's more of like trusting it. I think I've talked about it a little bit with the four seam. Just we have the shape, we got the grip and stuff. It's just more me having confidence in it and ribbing it through the zone.
You strike out 5 of the first 6 guys. What does that do for your mentality?
Yeah, I try to just say pitch to pitch, but definitely gives me, a little confidence headed into the 3rd inning, and just trying to go dominate.
Watching Judge do what it's like it's almost every day, but it's just.
Yeah, I mean, every time he comes up, I think he's going to hit a home run. So it's crazy, but he puts in the hard work every day, shows up the same guy every day, and I think that's why he gets the results he does.
Well, can you kind of describe the feeling amongst the starters right now? It seems last 2 turns through the rotation, you guys have had a lot of success overall.
Yeah, I mean, I think we, have known and had confidence in what we have as a staff, and I think we're just starting to put it together now.
Now, the 2 runs that Warren allowed were unearned because of this play here. It was originally ruled an error on DJ LeMahieu, but, Jack, this has been turned around to a hit.
Yeah, there's no way that's a hit. First of all, I don't think LeMahieu should have even gotten the throwing error. LeMahieu did everything right. It was Ben Rice who was late getting back to first base to cover. Even his own manager, Aaron Boone, talked about Rice not getting back to first in time. If you're LeMahieu, you're taught you make the play, you throw it to the base, and the fielder has to be there. We also saw Warren sliding over there. The fact that that now becomes a hit, Chris, is comical, but it also hurts Will Warren. Will Warren would have had a 4.17 ERA, which he should have. Now it's 4.61. I think Will Warren will probably say, okay, I just need to go out there my next time and have some more scoreless innings and knock that earned run average back down. And as you and I talked about on the pregame, he has the stuff to do that. The 9 punch-outs tonight were just pivotal in what he was trying to accomplish. And, Chris, he got strikeouts in 4 different pitches.
You were saying in the pregame show he had to be in attack mode, and he was very aggressive today going after the M's. Will Warren is a homegrown Yankee, and you can catch a glimpse at the next wave tomorrow during a minor league doubleheader on Yes, as top prospect George Lombard Jr. and the Somerset Patriots take on the Portland Sea Dogs. It's the AA Yankees versus the AA Red Sox. Game 1 coverage starts at 4, then Game 2 follows at 6:30 on Yes, and streaming, of course, on the Gotham Sports app. When we come back here on the postgame show, we will preview the first round of the Subway Series. It's in the Bronx starting on Friday. Our coverage on Friday begins at 5:30. An extended pregame coverage there. We'll be back right after this.
The Yankees postgame show on Yes is brought to you in part by FanDuel. New customers get $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins.
Bombers lived up to their nickname in Seattle to win the series today. And up next, it's the Subway Series, where you see the history since 1997. Yankees with the edge in every single category, including beating the Mets 4-1 in the 2000 World Series. And moments ago, Aaron Judge talked about the upcoming Subway Series in the clubhouse.
A little bit of a different Subway Series on Friday when Juan comes back for the first time. Just how do you feel like your offense has recovered from him not being here anymore, and just what you guys have added and how you performed?
Oh, it's definitely a hole. You know, a guy like Juan Soto going to give you 40 homers, hit close to 300, drive 100 guys in. It's tough to replicate that, but, getting a chance to add Goldie, we had Bellinger. Seeing what Trent's been able to do playing every single day has been huge. So I think it's just really all of us relying on each other. I think that's what I've noticed all year long. It's just guys feeding off each other. If I don't get the job done, I know Goldie and Belly behind me are going to do it, or trying to lead off the game with a home run, which kind of gets everybody to relax a little bit. So, we're excited. We're looking forward to the weekend. We had to get through a tough series here in Seattle, but looking forward to the off day and then getting home to the Bronx.
Take a look now at the Nissan probables, Jack, and the Yankees are set up with the day off tomorrow. Everyone stays on turn.
Yeah, they have their 3 best starters going in this Subway Series against the Mets. And, Chris, I always look forward to this series, and it's even more delightful and more dynamic when both teams are playing well. And that's what we have right now. Both teams lead their respective divisions. I think Aaron Judge gave a pretty good analysis right there. Not only are the Yankees and the Mets dueling each other, and their fans will be chanting, "Let's go Yankees, let's go Mets." You have a player who helped the Yankees get to the World Series last year in Soto. He's now playing for the Mets, so that's just another storyline to keep an eye on as you head into this weekend. But the Yankees have to feel good about those pitching matchups, and they always have to feel good when Aaron Judge has a bat in his hands, as we found out today.
How intense do you think this one will be with Soto coming back to the Bronx?
Yeah, I do think there's going to be some intensity. There always is, and now you add that extra element of a player who contributed so heavily to what the Yankees did last season. The Yankees made a tremendous effort to try and keep him. We're willing to give him $750 million. He opted to choose the Mets offer, and now he comes back. And, of course, there might be a boo or two, Chris. I think that might happen. As beloved as he was in right field last season, there might be a boo or two during this series.
And both of these teams come in Friday in first place in the AL East and in the NL East. So it's going to be a great series, and it all starts here on Yes at 5:30 on Friday. So don't forget about that. Now, Jack, it's time to wrap up today's win in Seattle with Yes Press headlines.
This was an easy one for me, Chris. Today's headline is Judge and Yanks find nirvana in Seattle. Huge homer, smells like team spirit.
I like the team aspect there. Yeah, that's perfect.
And you know Judge would like that, because Judge hits a go-ahead home run that wins the game, and he always just wants to talk about his team. And there were many contributors for the Yankees today. The Goldschmidt pinch hit homer, Dominguez and Volpe combining for a hit, and as you and I have discussed, the pitching, starting with Warren, and then the bullpen really doing its job.
Yeah, Cruz and Weaver nailing it down at the end. That's going to do it for us here on the WB Mason postgame show. Once again, the Yankees win 3-2 out in Seattle. They are 14-2 now at T-Mobile Park. Going back to 2010 in series out there, they really own the Mariners. Next up for the Yankees, as we mentioned, it's the Subway Series starting Friday at 5:30 with a BP show takeover by Meredith Marakovitz. And then the pregame show will take you right up to first pitch. For all of us here at Yes, this is Chris Sheeran saying so long, everyone. Thanks for watching.